live and recording the Oskar Quentin debate show on a Thursday in Minneapolis in the middle of a heat wave during which I have procrastinated putting my AC in. So if I get sweaty by the end of the show, that's why. We're going to talk about politics with some people on TikTok Live. The prompt today, MAGA, you take freedom for granted. I think maybe they'll address the prompt. I don't know. I never get it right. Lately, I've been thinking I have a prompt that's really going to get people engaged, but then we don't talk about the prompt. It doesn't really matter. The prompt is just part of the shtick of the show. But I do think that MAGA take freedom for granted. I talk to so many of these people, and my impression is just, frankly, that they're all a bunch of spoiled toddlers. Like, they don't realize that I am defending their right to do whatever they want. I am defending their right to live their American dream, to drive their pickup truck or whatever thing it is they want to do with their American dream. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating that these people have been fooled into thinking people like me want to take their freedom away, when in reality we're just like actually mega concerned that they're going to lose their freedom to some kind of un-American regime. But we'll see if we talk about that today or if we talk about some other stuff. Vic says business is booming. People are spending money. That's all I care about. Okay. I don't think that's even right. I don't know. Inflation's bad. Manufacturing's bad. Job prospects are bad. What do you think is going to be the outcome of that long term, Vic? I think you should hit the request button on your screen. This little pink and blue head down here by the comment section. You should click on that, and we should talk about what you care about. Sounds like a skill issue, dude. If you want to talk, we can talk. I'm going to mute you right away. You're muted for the entire live. You can try again tomorrow if you want to cause a ruckus in the chat. But if you want to talk about it, you can hit the request button on your screen, and I will platform you. Oh, it worked. Fantastic. We got a caller right away. We're going to see what he wants to talk about. 43 Vic. How old are you?
28.
28. You support Trump?
Sure. 50-50.
Yeah. 50-50 sounds like you think he's doing such good things for the economy that you're going to continue to support him?
Personally, I don't care who's president. Don't think it matters that much. You guys I don't know. I don't think it matters.
Yeah, you don't think that the president not following the Constitution is potentially going to be a problem for you in your life?
Correct, yeah.
Why is that?
I guess because, I don't know, I put myself in a good position.
Okay, so you're winning this particular bout of tyranny in America, and that makes it okay?
Sure.
Really? You just that selfish? So, for example, if
I'm not that smart, man. I think if I can do it, I think most people can do it.
No. I just want to really make sure I understand your ethics. So let's just hypothetically say that it gets really, really bad, and they start deporting tens of millions of people because they broaden the definition of people who can be deported to include citizens that they don't like. Maybe, are you white? Maybe they'll include people who aren't white. Maybe they'll take people who don't have jobs and deport them. Maybe it sounds like you have a job. That wouldn't be you. So if that happens, and you benefit from them because of these horrible civil rights abuses, doesn't matter where we send them. We're sending them to El Salvador or something. If that happens, would you be okay with it if it made your life better?
Sounds like it's a what if. These are all theories. That's not going to happen.
It's not a theory.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm trying to understand.
No, it is a theory. It is.
It's not a theory. It's a hypothetical, which is less than
That's
a theory.
That's your theory. I would never think of that theory.
Okay, I'm asking you to think of it and tell me how you feel about it.
I don't need to answer that because it will never happen.
You need to answer that if you want to stay on my show because I'm curious about your ethics and you're dodging the question. So that's what's going to happen on the show.
You told me to come up here. I will have a good day if you don't want me to.
Yeah, if you're afraid of answering that question, you can leave, but I am just going to keep asking it until you do leave.
No problem. You told me to come up here to talk about what I sent in the chat, and now you're just
if the Trump administration starts murdering millions of
this is fear mongering.
I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand your ethics. You can call me whatever names you want, but you're the person dodging a very easy question.
I'm just telling you what you're doing. You're fear mongering right now. That's essentially.
I'm asking you about your ethics.
What about my ethics?
I don't think it's a stretch for you to say that would be bad and you wouldn't support it. How is it that you're not able to just say that would be a bad situation that you wouldn't support?
Because it's not going to happen. Why even talk about it if it's not going to happen?
Because I want to understand if you're a good or bad person so that we can have a conversation about whether or not you're a good or bad person.
That makes no sense because it's never going to happen. Why talk about something if it's never going to happen?
Well, so for example, if we have a Democratic president that you don't like, for example, like a candidate like Kamala Harris, should we talk about her if you think that she's never going to happen as a president, or should we avoid the topic completely because you don't think it's going to be the outcome?
That makes no sense.
It doesn't sound to me like you're capable.
She had a chance of becoming a president.
Okay, yeah, and there is a chance of Trump doing some really serious civil rights abuses.
No, there's actually not. No, there's literally 0% chance of that actually happening. Like,
you know what?
That's how delusional that your brain is. That's the problem.
I think
that's why I'm not answering the question.
I think potentially what's going on here is that you take your freedom for granted.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I know that America's
really
the best country in the world, and we have the best freedom. That's for sure.
I don't believe it's a serious call, dude. Like are you having fun? Like, getting your chuckles in about.
Do you have fun fear mongering?
I'm trying to ask if you would. I'm trying to ask if you would support a genocide in this country, and you're refusing to answer.
The fact that you think that's going to happen is delusional.
I didn't say it's going to happen. I'm asking how you would feel about it if it did happen.
Sure, if a genocide would happen, then I would disagree with it. Sure.
Okay. Do you think that there are civil rights abuses happening in this country at all?
Sure.
And you're okay with them?
I mean, it's the government. What are you going to do?
I personally run a debate live where I talk to the general public for 2 hours a day, and now
you are accomplishing nothing. Literally nothing. Go talk to the politicians. That's who you should probably talk to.
So, dude, a bunch of politicians are following me on Instagram. I reach 3 million accounts a month there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, politicians repost my videos of me talking to people like you to demonstrate what the problem is in the country. I am right now. They're listening. Hello, politicians. Thanks for watching my show.
How many politicians are in this live at the moment?
Well, most of the viewers are on Instagram after the fact.
Zero.
Okay, dude, like what the hell? Like I'm doing something.
You're really accomplishing a lot, dude. Yeah,
I think I am.
See the problem?
All right. I'm just gonna kick Vic for not taking it seriously. He thinks it's funny that people are having their civil rights taken away. That's a Trump supporter, everybody. They don't give a fuck because they're white and it's not gonna be a problem for them. We're gonna talk to Shane Sishko, MBM, SISCHO, MBM. I don't understand the username. How old are you?
I'm 47, but I was don't ever bring Vic up here again. Don't ever bring him up again.
I mean, we'll see about that.
He has a mass report account. Vic is one of those trolls that will sit here and bait you and say a bunch of vile shit. I'm on panels with him all the fucking time. I moderate for other panels. Don't bring Vic or For Real up here.
Okay.
Anytime you see that first four, don't fucking just boot them. Just fucking get rid of them. They're fucking trolly, nasty ass bitches. See?
Well, I mean, you got removed, not him. Because I'm inclined to not believe the person who just gave me that warning because he talked about that guy in a way that flagged TikTok TOS for harassment and bullying. So, I don't know, man. How good of a moderator are you if you got my show flagged? We're going to talk to Gavin Hines. Gavin with 2 V's. Hines.
What up, man?
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Are you driving a car?
No.
Hello?
I'm riding in my work van. My boss is driving.
Can he say something quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Say something real fast.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, I'm gonna. You know what? I do believe you, but the road noise is a little too much for the show. Can I have you call back in when you're not? I believe you. It's cool. It's not. I do believe you. It's just way too noisy. Is the issue?
Yeah, I got you, man. No problem.
Yeah, just call back in a bit. All right, we're gonna talk to TNTE Diumian. I feel like the gag is just make a username that Oskar can't pronounce.
What's up, man?
Chillin'. How old are you?
27.
27. You support Trump?
I used to.
I'm just looking for opposition right now, so I'm going to move on. Feel free to call in towards the end of the show when I take friendly callers. We're going to talk to the man in the high castle. We're going to see how old he is, and we're going to see if he's a Trump supporter. W's in the chat for him for not being a Trump supporter.
Hello.
Man in the high castle, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 38. I actually voted for Harris, but I hope you realize that Biden and Harris actually probably deported almost as many people as Trump did at this point.
Yeah, I'm way more concerned with civil rights abuses than deportations. It's a really popular angle that that if you people say that I'm against deporting illegal immigrants or I'm against deporting violent, dangerous criminals, which is nonsense. But the queue is empty. So if everybody who's watching wants to get double tapping away on the screen, we can get pushed out to the For You page and get some new callers in here. Sorry for so curtly skipping the friendlies. It just is terrible for the show. So to the friendlies, if you want the show to be successful, please don't call in until the end of the show, until after 11:30 in Central Standard Time, just because it's like literally, if I have like a brief friendly conversation 2 minutes long, we lose 50 viewers. Like, people just aren't interested in us smelling each other's farts. We do that at the end of the show. Weird Thoughts 6. Thoughts spelled the tawdry way. Weird Thoughts 6. How old are you?
44.
Hello? 44?
Yeah, I'm 44.
Okay. You a Trump supporter?
I am.
Can you just do me a favor? I'm just going to kick you. Can you come right back? I think we have a delay that's going to be a little long for the conversation to work. So if I kick you, you can just hit the request button immediately again and hop back in.
Cool.
All right. So hopefully he'll be right back. Because there's nobody in the queue, it's going to be down here, the pink and blue heads. You can just click on that and I'll get you right back in. Sometimes when people connect, there's a delay of 2 or 3 seconds, and that's very, very difficult for conversation. We'll see if this works out a little bit better. Ooh, still taking a little bit long to connect. That was faster. All right, I'm going to say the word echo, and you say echo back as soon as you hear it. Echo.
Echo.
We're going to try to work with it, but I will just say we should both be a little bit more long-winded. Because of the delay, it's going to be a little hard for us to have a back and forth. So answer if you're a Trump supporter, and if the answer is yes, also tell us why.
Yes, but before I do, let me disconnect my Wi-Fi and reconnect while I'm in the box. It might fix it. It does as I host lives.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If that's a potential solution, we might still have to restart the call for that to fix it. But chat's asking if it's a Trump phone. All right. Are you still there? All right. I'm gonna boot him, and I'm gonna say get your Wi-Fi sorted out, and then come back. But in the meantime, we're gonna talk to user 0987, which is almost a default username, but it's shortened.
Yo.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
You support Trump?
You said what?
You support Trump?
No, I don't. I'm asking.
Okay, just looking for Trump supporters for the first part of the show here. We're going to talk to Air-2-Mud. Oh, Weird Thoughts already came back. All right, Air-2-Mud, I'm going to mute you. You're next in the queue. Just hang out for a second. All right, Weird Thoughts. Echo.
Echo.
Okay, that's better. Tell me why you're a Trump supporter.
Like what he did his first term, Tax Cut Jobs Act created over 800,000 jobs in one fiscal year. He didn't want us in Afghanistan. That was dumb. Waste of money and lives.
Biden improved those things more than Trump did in his first term. He also pulled us out of Afghanistan. He's the one who ended that conflict. And now that Trump is president again, he's doing the opposite. He's tanking the economy. Explain yourself.
Yeah, Afghanistan actually was Joe Biden's fault. He killed 13 soldiers with no kind of overwatch or removal approach. Even General Milley said it.
Do you think that it's bad for the president to make military strategic moves that result in the death of servicemen?
When it's an active war, yeah, it's typically.
What if there isn't an active war?
Not in a retreat.
Okay, what if so what if there isn't an active war at all, and the president starts one, and some servicemen die?
Yeah, that's bad. When did that happen under Trump?
All right, don't play dumb, dude. You know that American servicemen have died in the conflict in Iran.
Yeah, but Article 1, Congress declares war. That was an active, ongoing operation.
Okay, so if we're going to use that definition for war, I'm just going to talk about some conflicts that have happened since the last time we declared war through Congress, which was in World War II. It happened in 1940. We were late, right? Was it? Oh, I always mix it up. Was it 41 or 43?
Correct.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was 41, right? Okay, so just to be clear, I just want you to say the words out loud for everybody to hear. Vietnam was not a war.
Did Congress approve of it?
Say you made your explanation. Congress did not approve of it. I pointed out that the last time Congress did approve of it was 1941 with World War II. So I want you to say the words out loud for everybody to hear that Vietnam was not a war. I want you to say that to all the veterans listening.
Yeah, if Congress if it didn't get approved.
Say the words. Vietnam was not a war. I want the veterans hearing. I want the veterans listening to my show to hear you say the words that Vietnam was not a war.
I do not think Vietnam was a war because Congress didn't think it was a war.
Okay, I want you to tell the veterans. I want you to tell the veterans of the Gulf War or the Desert Storm. I want you to say Desert Storm was not a war.
Desert Storm was stupid as shit. And
Was
it
it a
embezzled
war?
a lot of money control.
I want you to say it wasn't a war.
Congress didn't call it a war.
I want you to say Desert Storm wasn't a war.
It wasn't a war because Congress did not approve it as a war. That has
I want you to say that the wars I want you to say that the conflicts we waged. I want you to say that the conflicts that we waged in the Middle East after 9/11 were not wars. That we didn't go to war on terror.
9/11 was stupid as shit. Barack Obama and Joe Biden and Bush all wanted us in there. Congress didn't declare it a war, so by legal definition in Oxford.
And it's a little early in the show. It's a little early in the show to pull this card, but I'm just going to inform you that I was in Manhattan on 9/11. I lived really, really close. I have really terrible asthma from it, and my father worked in Tower 2 and drank himself to death because of the people he saw die that day. So I want you to tell me that 9/11 was stupid, again, having learned that about me.
9/11 was stupid, and your dumbass vote let them back in. Good job.
Okay, cool. So those are your opinions on war. I think that what Trump is doing in Iran is bad, whether or not we call it.
Are you going to go apologize to your dad?
My dad's dead.
Well, I want you to say you're going to go apologize to your dad. Okay. That's tragic, but I would have apologized to him beforehand, before I voted Democrat.
I don't think you would have.
No, I'm not stupid enough to vote for Democrats, so I had no apology necessary. You do, though.
Oh, you want me to? I see the gag. You want me to apologize to my dead father for having voted for Democrats? Is that your zinger? After I've drug you through the mud about your positions on the there are a lot of people
in Afghanistan.
Sorry, say that again. I do want to listen to the nonsense you're saying.
Yeah, you pretty much owe every serviceman and woman an apology for you supporting bullshit wars.
I don't. I think the war on terror after 9/11 was really bad. It was a terrible mistake.
Programs.
No, you're pivoting on to other stuff. You're accusing me of thinking those wars were good. I don't. I think they were very bad. I do just think they were wars.
Oh, but you support their action. You literally just defended Joe Biden when he.
I defended Joe Biden pulling out of the wars, and it's a tragedy that some servicemen died in that pullout. It was really, really messy. It was terrible. It was an awful situation we were in over there. I'm not sure that I would have been able to do a better job. I think it's really hard.
So the people that I support, send them to an active operation, and they know that they're going to die because it's active, operation. You are okay with them getting shot in the back.
I'm not okay with that. Why are you saying I'm okay with that? Trump said he was okay with it. He said that some people may die in this conflict and that he's all right with that. He literally pulled the Farquaad line and said, some of you will die, and that's a risk I'm willing to take. What are you talking about? Do you not watch the news?
They know what they... Do you not have people that actually are in the military? They know what they sign up for, dude. Stop sitting there tokenizing military servicemen and women. That's disgusting.
they put their life in the hands of the commander in chief, and we have to elect a commander in chief who's going to handle their lives responsibly. And I don't think that we've done that, which is why so many people have died in Iran. Not just our handful of soldiers, but also a number of civilians there, which is really problematic. Furthermore, I would argue that if you think that 13 people dying in Afghanistan is a problem, how many servicemen do you think would have died in Afghanistan if we had stayed since Biden pulled us out in, I forget what year it was 2022 or something? Do you think that no deaths would have happened if we just stayed there? Well, you haven't actually demonstrated why you think that what he was doing was bad.
Wait, Biden pulled us out because last I read in the Doha report, he actually didn't provide any kind of evac plan. It was last second. And that's why they got attacked.
Okay, so how is I'm just trying to understand how you're more upset about that than the fact that the wars happened at all. You're not making any sense to me.
Because when people sign up for war, they understand there's a possibility they're going to get injured or unalived. They don't think the day they're happy they're going home to see their family, the Taliban's going to get regrouped, let in through the front door, and slaughter a bunch of them. That's not a common thing, dude.
Hello, Raven.
I'm a veteran.
Yeah, thought I'd invite a veteran onto the panel because I'm not a veteran and I shouldn't speak for them.
So, guest, do you really think that veterans sign up knowing that they're gonna go die? Like, do you really think they sign up on the dotted line saying, I'm gonna go die for President Trump?
No, but they know that it's a possibility. My buddies that are
No
veterans
shit.
know it too.
So, you want to talk
Well,
about
what are
this
you
pullout
arguing
effort, right? You do realize Trump made the pullout effort, right? He handed it to Biden and said, here's the plan. Go
You
for
are
it.
aware that violated before Trump left office, right? And that's why the troop downsizing stopped immediately, right?
So you've
Is it
got an
played
excuse for
people in
everything? You're not going to actually answer anything?
Oh, no, I actually answered. You just don't like my answer. And that's a you problem, not
Also,
because my answer's the truth.
can we also not pivot off of the fact that you think people are like stupid enough that they're signing up to go die for leaders? Like they think that it's okay that leaders know that they're gonna die?
I didn't say
That's
they're
like the
actively
dumbest thing
doing
I've
it because
ever
they
heard.
want to. Well, I mean, the Taliban you guys are letting in through your failed immigration policies, they don't care if they die for war. I mean, they even
So
send
you
their
think
children on their
that
behalf.
because someone's pro-immigration that they're pro-terrorists coming into the country? Are you that big of a fallacy?
Second time this week that I've had somebody. I had somebody the other day blame 9/11 on illegal immigration. Wild.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, just wild.
Yeah.
No, I didn't blame it on illegal immigration. They're actually from the immigration's actually from the regions that support that.
Are we going to do this again? Do you
are
actually
aware
think that the
over
19 hijackers
90%
were illegal
of
immigrants?
Palestine are Muslims, right?
Oh my God. I don't think you're serious, caller.
No, they were here on student visas and they weren't properly vetted.
I think
you
we
gonna
established that he wasn't serious when he said that soldiers want to go die, or that they are okay with knowing that they're going to go die.
I think for me personally, he lost credibility when he told me to my face that 9/11 was stupid.
22 a.m. on Central Standard Time.
I just want to be real with you. If any leadership ever said we're going to go die on a mission, do you realize that the whole entire fucking unit would just leave?
Hey, did you realize you're still repeating the same stupid shit I didn't say or imply? And I've corrected you like 4 times.
You did say that.
That was a question, though. Like, Raven asked a question, and you said that she's putting words in your mouth.
They're going to be possibly injured or unalived.
I mean, if you want to say all this audacious shit about veterans, then maybe you should stand on it.
I do stand on it.
You said a lot of audacious shit when there's no veteran up here.
Oh, and I'm saying it now. Does it look like I'm cowering because you did what?
It does sound like you're cowering. You haven't actually answered anything.
Am I supposed to be intimidated because you're drunk at 11 in the morning or what? Like what?
Who's drunk?
The fact that you come online and say that you served. Congratulations, I'm Buzz Aldrin. I can say whatever I want online too.
Are you accusing Raven of something? Still, I didn't hear quite what you said.
Are you accusing me of stolen valor?
Yeah, that's the question.
Oh, I'm not accusing you of anything. If the shoe fits, wear it.
Sure sounded like you are.
Why are you?
No, it's a serious accusation that Raven should be offended about, and I know Raven in real life.
Well, that's a you problem. You
Raven's not a random TikTok person. Raven is a person I know in real life. Raven is a veteran, and Raven would get in a lot of trouble if Raven was stealing valor.
Was Raven at 9/11 too with your dad and your uncle? And
are you accusing me of lying about being involved with 9/11?
Like you guys have a lot of personal experience.
I'm just asking what you're saying. Are you?
That's what I did. I just made a statement.
Yes or no? Do you think I told the truth about my involvement with 9/11?
Oh, I don't make assumptions until the facts come out. I just point out the fact that you guys constantly say that you're things that you're not, like a woman and a man and all those things.
There it is. There it is.
Found it.
Yeah, here we go.
So
Again, you're just saying that you call it like it is, and we can disagree. It sounds like you understand biology, but not gender, like sociology, because
this is actually funny. This is funny. He said he understands it at a 3rd grade level. But the funny thing is, he's saying that he has never pursued it past a 3rd grade level.
I said you don't. Once again, listening problem. No,
I'm making an assumption here. Absolutely. You said you understand it at a 3rd grade level. I'm saying you don't understand it past a 3rd grade level.
I said you don't. I
Hello?
understand it. We're not being a man. We're not transformers. We don't have powers of imagination to create reality.
Yeah, like again, you're just obstinately ignoring the fact that there's this whole other thing than biological sex, which is gender, and we could have a conversation about that. I don't think we should because it's pretty obvious it wouldn't be productive. I want to actually just pull back and just yes or no. Do you personally think I am lying about being a victim of 9/11? Like, do you think I'm lying that I have asthma from it? Do you think I'm lying when I say that I lived like walking distance from it and my dad worked in Tower 2 and it's like a huge thing in my life? He drank himself to death about it. It like really.
Well, here, let me give you my answer, and I'll substantiate why.
Okay.
You're complete avoidant of the fact of Article 1 that under legislative powers, Congress is the only one that can declare war. So you're openly, constantly lying about that.
What the fuck does that have to do with what I just said?
Joe Biden was
You're really going back to
the buildings fell down, and I was there, and all the asbestos and concrete dust made me sick. That's what I'm saying happened.
I would assume, based off your track history, you're a lying piece of shit.
All right, dude. I mean, I don't have.
I would assume, based off
history.
your track history of this conversation, you are more than likely lying.
That's fucked up, dude. Yeah, you got to watch it, accusing people of like not being involved in that type of shit. You got to watch it, accusing people of stolen valor.
I fought in Pearl Harbor, dude. Do you believe me?
No, I think I have good reason not to believe you.
I want to just point out that 1 out of the 3 of us are being disingenuous, and it's you.
If you come with a positive claim, it's your responsibility to back it with proof. It's not mine to believe you.
You know, we could work with just
fucking building dust.
I don't know what you're saying. I don't speak Jim Beam.
We could, dude, stop accusing Raven of being drunk. What I don't know why you're doing that. You could just operate with the agnosticism towards the fact.
Drunk.
No, I'm going to try to address the fact that you're working with the only information you have, because I don't actually have good proof right here and right now that I was involved in 9/11. But you're talking to somebody who could be or could be lying, and you're choosing to be mean to both of those versions of the people. Schrodinger's 9/11 victim. I'm either a 9/11 victim or you're not. And you're thinking I could be being mean and belligerent and disrespectful and disingenuous with a person whose fucking dad drank himself to death about 9/11, who has a fucking lifelong health ailment because of it. You could be doing that, or you could be dunking on some liar online, but you don't even consider the possibility of being mean to somebody who's actually telling the truth to you important enough to operate with the benefit of the doubt. That makes you a shitty person.
You don't earn the benefit of the doubt when I catch you lying and defending people getting killed, innocent service members.
You didn't catch me in shit.
No,
what lie did you catch me
members. Bring that take that shit right out of your fucking mouth.
Shut the fuck up. Nobody knows you or believes you. You're drunk. Go drink more Jameson.
I know Raven in person.
Service photos on my profile.
Well, you shouldn't give it to your cats, though.
So here, we're at the part of the conversation where you're so cornered that you're literally just going to deny the fact that I don't have good proof. I don't have good proof about my involvement in 9/11. Raven does happen to have good proof of being a veteran because she was in the fucking Air Force for 6 years. So like you're literally going to ignore the fact that she just said that there literally is proof on her profile of her time as a service member, but you're not even going to acknowledge the words I'm saying right now because they so prove how cornered you are in this conversation that the next thing out of your mouth is going to be a pivot to something else. Let's hear it.
All right, okay. So, guys, in the chat,
Yes!
And then I brought up Afghanistan. Magically, he brought up an army soldier.
Hey, Thought. Have you considered that you're telling a disabled veteran that they have stolen valor? How does that feel? And now you want to use service members for clout, you fucking piece of shit.
It feels okay because I don't know if you're telling the truth. I don't know if you're telling the truth.
And I already addressed the fact that given that you don't know...
Hold on,
I don't really believe
the fact that you're not willing to do the fucking mental work to figure out if I'm telling the truth or not, you would just rather sit in your ignorance, says everything about you.
Okay. Oh, no. Like, I care. No,
you sit in ignorance because the truth scares you. The truth scares you, dude. And you want to call me a pussy? I signed up to die for this country, and you're scared of the truth.
The truth of what? The truth of what?
The fact that I'm a veteran,
There
are
it
you
is,
that
right
bad
there,
at
guys.
tracking this
He said,
conversation?
we don't sign up thinking we're going to die. She just said it. She just
I
said
signed
it.
up willing to die for the country. I'm not going into a
guaranteed,
mission
man.
We don't
knowing
sign
I'm
up
going to
thinking we're
die.
going to die. Literally just said it.
Yes.
You fucking
If it's a
failed
valid reason to
horribly.
die, dumbass.
Hey, guys, let's join Raven and take a shot in celebration of her incrimination of herself.
You know what else I
We
would
all
die
know
for?
that you're the one here who wants another shot, dude. Quit projecting.
I would also die for the First Amendment, but I'm not going to go out and say I'm going to go purposely go get
Host
shot by
probably
the
isn't
cops.
old enough to drink, so somebody get him a no duels.
What do you mean I'm not allowed to drink? What are you talking about?
If only Renee Good had that idea.
What are you talking about? What you're just flailing
Her
with
family will be
insensitive.
enjoying her company
Right,
right now.
your
I think-
attempts at race bait aren't working.
Yeah, I think you're bummed that it's not like working, hurting our feelings. We're just like directly addressing the things you're saying, and you're probably used to getting the people to crash out because you are saying some horribly insensitive things on purpose, which is very shitty for you to do. Makes you a very, very bad person. And I showcase those sorts of people on my
You
show.
are
It's just-
crashing out. You brought up a backup, and you're talking.
You're literally going to be on the internet forever trying
You're
to
saying
on a
shit about
disabled
veterans, so I
Like,
brought
you
up
can
a
see level
veteran.
of estrogen
Like,
rising.
Hey, my estrogen's pretty high up there, and I'm doing just fine.
Yeah. Do I know she's a veteran, dude? Does her saying it prove shit?
Your lack of willingness to go seek out the truth.
Like, if you believe
is
the word every
problem.
human being says, shows why
Yeah,
you
just
get bent
ignore
over
me
by the
because
Democrats
I'm
so
fucking
easily.
slaying you.
Yeah, I mean, I already got him. Like, the pause was so delicious after I said that he's literally just
Oh,
not
no,
going
I'm
to go to your
gonna read 'cause
profile
you're
and
stupid
check.
drunk.
Right. I feel like that's projection. Have you been drinking,
Was
sir?
it delicious, dude? That is a gay thing to say. Holy shit.
Who cares if it's a
That's
gay thing to
gross.
say? I'm secure enough in my sexuality that it doesn't matter if I say or do something that other people
After talking
consider
about it, I feel like I
gay.
need to get up on
Why
your
is
level,
that
so I might
important to you? Why is that important to you? Do you spend a lot of time concerned about whether or not the things that you do might be perceived as gay by other people? Are you not secure in your sexuality in that way?
No, because actually I did research on that mRNA vaccine and COVID infections. They actually raise estrogen levels in men. And you guys
I don't
got
think that
a lot
was.
of
I don't think that
do the
nonsense.
mental
now
work.
you're all fruity and weak.
I don't think that nonsense that you just said was an answer to my line of questioning. Why is it that you're so
Oh yeah,
concerned
trust
with
the
what?
science. CDC, NIH posted it.
I'm not talking about science. I'm talking about
If you
strangers
want
on
to
the
trust the
internet
science
thinking I'm
and then
gay, which
deny
doesn't
trans
bother me.
people, if you say you trust science but deny trans people, then you're literally a walking, like, what is that?
Contradiction.
Contradiction, yeah, thank you.
Oh no, I trust the science of psychology where gender exists, the same as mental illness and dissociative disorders. I trust that.
Okay, then what is the 20...
Do you not
what
trust
was
it?
20 years ago they took anything related to being trans off the mental
DSM?
health... Or DSM, yeah. So 20 years ago they took that off. So time to update your science, bud.
Yeah, because they weren't promoting mental illness and 40% increase.
Wait, no. Why are you offering your answer?
Yeah.
The scientists have their own answers for doing that. Shouldn't you listen to the most updated information from the scientists that you say you
said you like
trust?
science.
Oh, wait. The scientist, Dr. Fauci, that needs a preemptive pardon? Should I trust him?
That's not an answer to my question, and Dr.
Holy
Fauci,
shit, that
Dr.
man.
Fauci doesn't work on
Inject
gender
that.
science, and you know that. Like, you're just pivoting away from the fact that you are ignoring what the scientists are actually saying. You're going back to the past. Now, here's the thing that's a bit of a red flag. When somebody says, I trust the scientists, here's a scientist from the past that disagrees with all the current scientists. That's how you get people who are into, like, phrenology and, like, science-based racism
Fauci
and stuff.
doesn't work in science?
He doesn't work on gender
Did you guys hear
science.
that?
He doesn't... That's not what I said. I said he doesn't work in gender
So
science.
they said Fauci doesn't work in science.
I said he doesn't work in gender studies.
Oscar said gender science. He said that
he's a-
from the start.
He's
Don't
an
be disingenuous.
epidemiologist. Like you're putting words in my mouth to make it wrong. You're flailing, dude. You're cornered, and you know it. And
Well,
you're sad that
he knew
you're
the
sad
COVID
that your
that he
shtick
helped
isn't working, and
create.
you're too proud to run. So you're
He knew
sitting
the COVID
here.
that he helped create increases your estrogen level.
You're gonna get a misinformation flag
You
from
do
TikTok,
realize
dude. Is that how you're
men-
trying to get out of this?
This is easy
Men
work.
and
This is
women
light
both
work.
have
It's like shooting blind ducks in a
estrogen, and it
barrel.
goes in cycles, right?
I could do this all day.
You do
Be a
realize men and
bigoted
women
asshole.
both
You can
have
do that all day.
estrogen.
I don't know, Raven. What do you
Oh,
think?
you guys,
Should we move
you
on?
guys deserve it. You're pieces of shit. You're fucking Nazis. I'll be pieces of shit to you all day, every day.
That's ironic.
Yeah,
Do you
run
know
away,
what the
dude. That's all
Nazis
you
did
guys
to
can
trans
do.
people? Do you know what the right is trying to do to trans people and how almost perfectly it matches up with what the Nazis did?
Did they support socialism? Did they support unions? Did they control the education system? Did they control corporate?
Do you think the Nazi Party was an actual socialist party? Sir?
Is that what you guys?
Do you think the Nazi Party
really
was
wants
an
him
actual
gone.
socialist party?
How stupid they are.
You're gonna have
I'm waiting,
to.
Raven.
You're gonna have to take the dick out your mouth and try again.
I don't think he deserves the benefit of the doubt on that one.
You thinking about sucking dick? You jealous? No, nobody likes you.
I mean, I do enjoy it actually. So.
He's so threatened by our being secure in who we are.
Right, like I'm literally bisexual.
Dude, don't enjoy it. They probably go cut their wieners off. Next trans victim.
I'm gonna let him go. The signal's kind of dropping out, and I think we got what we needed from that guy. I think I got the Instagram clips I was looking for. Thanks for hopping up, Raven.
Yeah, of course you can kick me.
Yeah, let's try to have you back for that friendly debate at like 11:30 in an hour or so.
I'll see what I can do. I'm kind of behind on work, so I might have to.
Yeah, no worries. Any day. You know, I'm ready for that whenever.
Yeah. All right. I'll take you on tomorrow.
I'll kick you for the algorithm later, Raven. All right, we're going to talk to D. Lou after I tell everybody that if you enjoy the show, if you want to see more of it, you can go to the YouTube and find all the VODs, because this 2-hour show gets uploaded to YouTube every day. You can go to the link tree in my bio, follow me there on Instagram and Facebook, all the other stuff, and that doesn't cost you a dime. And if you have a dime that you want to spare on the Oskar Quentin Show, you can send it to my Venmo, Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, or Patreon. That makes it so that I can pay my bills, and if I can pay my bills, then I keep doing the show every day. It's great how that works out. Seriously, though, thanks, everybody, for the fact that this is now my full-time job. This is fucking incredible. But yeah. Anyway, love you, everybody. Thanks for making my life like a really cool and exciting thing right now. I get to do this all the time, and I love it. We're gonna talk to D. Lou, D space Lew. How old are you?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. How old are you?
I'm 25.
25. Do you support Trump?
No, I'm more of like central left.
Yeah, we can maybe have a friendlier conversation. Or maybe
I want to talk about ICE. Can you hear me?
I already kicked you. I don't know why I can hear you. Sorry. I just, we can talk about ICE when it's not a Trump supporter. I try to keep that for the end of the show, so you can call in after 11:30. That is about 53 minutes from now. We're going to talk to Justin. Have I spoken to Justin before? I spoke to a Justin the other day.
Yeah, no, you spoke to me. I was the one that was, I came out unhinged. But I just wanted to say.
How old are you?
I'm going to be 42.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that you had a veteran up here, and if you would have let me up, I would have ripped into Weirdo, because my dad and mom served, and the way he was disrespecting Raven, I don't buy that shit. Yeah, I don't buy that shit. So
I appreciate that, but we're maybe going to bring up the fact that you were really mean to me also about the fact that I'm a 9/11 victim. Was that you? You asked me if I wanted a fucking cookie when I told you that my father drank himself to death after 9/11.
Yeah, I apologize, bro.
Were you drunk?
I could have been, yeah.
Okay, you're also being very noisy, so if you want to try again, if you want a second chance, we allow second chances on my show, because if somebody voted for Trump and they want another chance to be a decent human being for the rest of their life, I want to give them that. So I'll give you the second chance to try again, but please stop it with the background noise and give me your full attention. You can start by doing that. Yeah, what do you want to talk about today?
No, I just... Why do I have that freaking echo, dude? What's up with my phone?
I don't know why you have an echo. You shouldn't have an echo.
I don't know.
I had my house speakers up. Maybe, hopefully that didn't affect the quality of the recording. Did that fix it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, sorry if you could hear that.
Okay, no, yeah. I just... I voted for Trump, and, like most of you guys say, if it was Harris or Trump again, I probably would vote Harris, only because I see some of what Trump has said he was going to do and he hasn't done yet, and I pretty much agree with you guys with what you say about, I know he doesn't control gas prices, so that's one thing that I could disagree with you guys on, because pretty much, isn't it the governors that control the gas prices in their states?
No. That precious capitalistic free market that so many people love for some reason. that generally controls what the gas prices is. There's some taxes on gas prices at the state and federal level that affect the gas prices, but generally speaking, that's not real. Like, our politicians don't change those very frequently. They don't really respond to market prices. So no, why did you think that?
Just because, like, I live in California, and I remember I filled up my car almost $50. It's like $6 a gallon here in California, and it's like fucking crazy. When I hear my friends that are in Nevada say they're paying like $3.50 a gallon.
I hear you, and I'm glad that it sounds like largely on the same page about the fact that Trump is doing some things that not only are just bad, but they're also against his campaign promises. But because you said that you would maybe have gone back in time and voted for Kamala, I just want to ask a clarifying question about what you think about Trump's presidency. I think what he's doing is so bad that he should be impeached. Like, I don't think he should be allowed to finish his term. It's worse than just picking a different guy next time. I think he should be disqualified from the office. I think Congress needs to impeach him, and I think that it is wildly unpatriotic that the Republicans in Congress refuse to impeach him. I want your feelings on that.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm trying to turn a new leaf, and yeah, like yesterday I was drunk or whatever. But I don't feel that he should be impeached. I just feel that he needs to start doing what he said he was going to do.
Okay, so my problem is that he's not going to, first of all. Like, clearly, he has no reason to start suddenly. He's not going to turn over a new leaf, Like, he's not going to put to rest this horrible authoritarian control of the White House thing that he's doing. I don't think that that's reasonable to suggest at all, and I just see that as such a big problem that we got to impeach him. I like to speak generally about it. Do you think... How many times do you think it's okay for the president to violate the Constitution in a way that's really fucking obvious before we just have to fucking impeach them out of like self-defense from a leader that is just totally not following the rules? And don't think about Trump. Imagine Biden doing it. Imagine Kamala Harris doing it. Imagine Obama doing it. Imagine once a week there's a scandal bigger than Watergate where look at this really important thing in the Constitution and how the president is trying to get around it. They're trying everything they can do to get around it. They filed an executive order that disobeyed it. The judges made some orders about it. They're disobeying the court orders. They're trying to urge Republicans in Congress or their own party in Congress to let them get around it. Like all these things he's doing. What do you think we should do when the president's doing that?
That's I don't follow politics far enough, but I agree that we should, what people are bringing up, though, honestly, is they're bringing up his past, like with that Eugene Carroll. No.
Thing. I was bringing up his present. I was talking about stuff that's happening right now. Every week he does something that's this bad. Like there's a big scandal like this constantly. So I don't actually even want to talk about Eugene Carroll or like the fact that he defrauded charities in New York or that he got sued for not renting to black tenants when he was a landlord in New York. There's a bunch of terrible stuff from his past. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about any hypothetical president who disobeys the Constitution in the way that Trump regularly does.
Yeah, I think there should be some repercussions, but I just don't think that we should go as far as impeaching him, because we could have impeached Bill Clinton when he had Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office and they were doing their thing. We could have impeached Clinton.
Okay, right. We tried to impeach Clinton, and that was maybe, he lied to Congress. That was bad. Obama did some airstrikes that were bad. That was real bad. Biden tried to forgive student loans in a way that Congress or that the Supreme Court didn't like because it's Congress that's supposed to deal with issues of money. Power of the purse is what it's called. That belongs to Congress, not to the president. So you can find those little blunders, which is why I asked how frequently do they have to do it? Because I think it's really hard to be president for 4 or 8 years and not have some kind of fuck up. There's a lot of damned if you do, damned if you don't type of shit when you're president. And across 8 years, I personally can forgive a couple of constitutional blunders. I don't necessarily think that just because the Supreme Court shot something down, you should be impeached. Just because something didn't work and you had to take a different approach, or there's you made a bad decision in the war room and some innocent people died. As terrible as that is, I actually don't think that should necessarily end a president. It's doing that multiple times a week for a year that should that's somewhere. I don't know exactly where the line is, but I know that it is somewhere much closer to 1 or 2 major constitutional violations in an entire presidency than it is to 1 or 2 major constitutional violations every week during your presidency. I think after the 4th or 5th, we got to be bro, what the fuck? You don't know the Constitution. Congress is going to fucking impeach you for these high crimes and misdemeanors, which they get to interpret what a high crime and misdemeanor is for an impeachment. But I think it's pretty fucking obvious that what he's doing is high crimes and misdemeanors. He's doing some flagrantly illegal shit. He's doing some stuff that's so obviously against the Constitution. Never mind the Supreme Court shooting it down. Congress should fucking impeach him for even trying. That's what I'm saying.
No, I disagree. I think that he, and like I said, some ways he's doing good for us, and some ways he's not. Like,
which part of what I said? I know you're just going to move on to like your general feelings about Trump, but what's really important to the show working, what's really important to the audience being able to understand your perspective, and for me to be able to understand your perspective, I need a more direct response to what I just said, which is that you can bring up things that you don't like. Yes, Bill Clinton had a big nasty scandal. Obama had his airstrikes that were very unpopular. People on the left protested that while it was happening. And then you've got Biden, who tried to do a generally pretty popular move, which is to forgive student loans, but he did it in a way that is unconstitutional, and the Supreme Court shot it down. So you have those big ones. I'm saying, if a president has one of those every week or so, do you recognize that that's a really big problem?
Yeah, I can see how that's a really big problem.
Okay, so you recognize the really big problem that it is for the president to do that. The question then becomes, do you think that that really big problem is something that Trump is doing? Do you think it's true what I'm saying, that Trump is violating the Constitution in that way at this current pace, like multiple times per week?
No, I disagree with that, because it's just, to me, I think that we should all, in the end, we all should be one. And it seems like the Democrats don't want us to be one. They want us to be
what I want us
divided.
to do. What I really want us to do is to look at these sorts of constitutional violations of the president, like the things I listed about Obama and Clinton and Biden, and say, all right, if we're going to say that those were big problems, then we need to look at all the things that Trump is doing and accurately weigh whether or not they're as big a problem. And what I'm saying is, if the cutoff level for what a big problem is the sort of constitutional violations or civil rights violations or ethical violations that we had from Clinton, Obama, or Biden, in order to treat it all fairly, the number of individual scandals that Trump has that are worse than all those things now mounts in the hundreds. He has a scandal that's bigger than Watergate, which is why Nixon ended his presidency. He knew he was going to be impeached. He knew he was going to be convicted in that impeachment and he was going to lose his seat. So we saved everybody the effort and he just resigned. Trump has a scandal that obviously illegal about once a week. More is there's some legal scholars on like YouTube who track it really carefully that you can go watch, where like they're saying it's 2 or 3 times a week there's a Watergate now. But because they've done it, they've had this process of making it so normal for the president to do these unconstitutional things, making it so normal for our politicians in Congress to not do anything about it. They've made it so normal for the Supreme Court to rule in ways that are like a little bit un-American because the court leans right now, that people like you maybe haven't really noticed that this is happening. But they have changed the temperature of the room such that you don't notice that there's a Watergate every week, but there literally is. Nixon ended his presidency because he was spying on his campaign opposition. That's a fucking nothing burger compared to half the shit that Trump does in the White House. Trump does worse shit like that all the time. What happened to America? Why are we okay with this?
I don't think it's that we're okay with it. I think it's that the Democrats keep trying to shoot everything that he has going, that he just gets it shut down.
So here are the possibilities. The possibilities, there's 2 here, and I see this is maybe where our disagreement is. It's that I think that he's actually doing that many scandals. I think there's that many things that he's doing that are that bad. And then you think that me, being a Democrat, because I'm a democratic socialist in the like Bernie Sanders AOC sense, but I'm like on team Democrat in terms of the left and right issue in American politics. You think that I'm just looking at everything that Trump does and saying, everything is unconstitutional. I don't like this. This is bad. This must be against the rules. We have to impeach him for this. So I think to tangle that out, I think we need to maybe start talking about some examples, because I think that if you know how to read, I don't know how literate you are. I don't want to make assumptions. I consider myself to be pretty highly literate. I'm going to ask a straightforward question. Have you read any books as an adult? A lot of people haven't, which is why I ask.
Off and on. I read a book. I'm more, like documentaries, like,
Well, the reason I ask about books is because it's a really good litmus test for if a person is able to interpret language written on a page. If somebody reads books, documentaries do that for you because maybe you're good at listening, but reading is a very different skill. Interpreting language, interpreting formally written language is a different skill. And the reason I bring it up is because you don't need to be very good at reading to read the Constitution and to look at the things that Trump is doing, to read the law and see the things that Congress is doing, to read history and look at the things his administration is doing and put, kind of two and two together and go, uh-oh, what he's doing is really, really, really bad. Because I guess what I would argue is, like, how can you say that Watergate is maybe worse than all these things that Trump is doing when I can provide a lot of examples of him doing something where, as per the letter of the law, it's much more illegal than what he did when what Nixon did in Watergate. It was a way bigger deal. Clinton lying to Congress? That's nothing. Trump lies all the fucking time. Trump's lawyers lie to Congress all the time.
What did they lie about?
The content of the Epstein files, for example. I could give other examples, but that's a big one.
See, that's what you guys always come up to, but he's not mentioned anywhere in the Epstein files.
Hot take, he's mentioned almost 1 million times in the Epstein files.
That's what you guys say, but like you guys can never prove it.
Okay, so our congressmen and women who go and view the less redacted Epstein files are able to do a search, and we even have Republican representatives like Thomas Massey who have confirmed those numbers. So and even if you say that he's not mentioned anywhere in them, because I'm saying he's mentioned 1 million times, there's a lot, because that's in the other half of the Epstein files that are not available to the public. But even the publicly available ones, he has mentioned thousands of times in those, something like 35,000 times. You can go look yourself. So what do you mean he's not mentioned in the files?
It's not. You guys always want it,
No, but he is. I can show you. Do you want me to pull up an Epstein file that he?
Yeah. Do I prove it? I want to see it.
Okay, I'm just gonna Google Trump Epstein files. We're actually gonna do this together. Okay, so I just Googled Trump Epstein files, and we could go to the DOJ website and search for. Actually, you know what? Let's actually just do that. DOJ. I should have it bookmarked. I don't know why I don't. So let's go to the DOJ Epstein Library. So this is departmentofjustice.gov. This is the website that was created after the passing of the Epstein Files Transparency Act, where they forced all of this stuff to become available to the public. Okay, so let's search the full Epstein Library. I'm just going to search the word Trump, okay? I'm going to search Trump. There are 5,300 results in the publicly available Epstein files. And when they say that he's mentioned like 35,000 times, it's because he's often mentioned a ton of times in these results. If we look at any individual results, see how many times he's mentioned in here? You see where it says Trump like everywhere? There's like a bunch of Trump mentions in this one Epstein file. So I can just like pick one and these are going to say all sorts of random different things. Like, people have done the work of sleuthing out the really bad ones. Some of these aren't that interesting. Some of them are things where it's like, oh, here's Trump mentioned as a guest at this party that somebody was, or whatever. Like, there's plenty of innocent reasons to be mentioned in the Epstein files. But
why are you?
Yeah.
See, I don't understand why you guys are so focused on the Epstein files.
No. We're going to stay on one thing. So this is really important for these conversations to work, that I know that I just showed you something and you have this reaction where you're like, oh, I want to ask Oskar this new question. But I really just want to go back to a second ago where you told me that Trump isn't mentioned in the Epstein files. I went to justice.gov/Epstein. That's the website that this is. I searched Trump and there were 5,300 results, which at a glance, each show him mentioned numerous times. So just so we can be clear, Trump is mentioned in the Epstein files quite a lot. Do you recognize that? Your teacup. I can't hear you if you're not in the app. You got to come back so I can hear you. Oh, he ran. What a shame, man. That guy was so mean to me the other day. I wanted to give him a redemption arc because he was super fucking mean about the fact that I am a victim of 9/11. He was like, there's a lot of people dragging that guy through the mud, and I wanted to give him a redemption. All right, maybe when he's sober, he can be reasonable. But yeah, it's a claim like that, a claim that Trump isn't mentioned in the Epstein files. How does that get into someone's head? Who told him that? Like, what the fuck? Who told that man that Trump isn't in the Epstein files? I don't get it. Joseph, thank you so much for the $10 on Cash App. I really appreciate you. He says, thanks, Oscar. Judicial still cracks me up. Was that the judicial guy? Was that the guy who said one of the branches of the government was the judicial, and then the other one was federal, and then the other one was Supreme Court? Was that the same guy? I can't keep it straight. It's unusual for me to remember a detail about a caller just because I see so many, but I do remember how mean that guy was to me about being a 9/11 victim. That's been happening a lot lately. There's a lot of interesting discussion happening over on Instagram where the clips are doing well about people who are trying to untangle the fact that now that I have this little card to play as a debate host, which is that I have a really direct personal connection with 9/11. I generally try not to talk about my personal connections. I could talk about my personal connections to economic issues because I'm a broke, starving artist. I could there's all these things I could just go me. My life is so hard. I want my life to be better. But it's just not good debate etiquette to focus on myself in that way, because it's just not about me. It's just about people who are suffering so much more than me. But I feel a little bit entitled to the 9/11 thing just because it is it's such a solid gotcha during this time where the climate is that suddenly the Republicans that used to be the don't tread on me party are suddenly the stay home or die party, which is insane. And they used to be the proud to be an American party that was furious about 9/11, but they're literally mean to me about it. They taunt me about it. They make jokes about my dead father. What the fuck? What the fuck happened? So I feel a little bit gross talking about 9/11. Oh, I'm such a victim. It was so scary when they flew those planes into my dad's building and we thought he was dead, and it wasn't until the afternoon that he came home because he got stuck in downtown and came home all covered in dust, and it got us all sick because we lived so close that we were 2 blocks north of the evacuation line, so we didn't evacuate, but we all got sick anyway. I could sit and bitch and moan about that, but just the fact is I'm just blown away. I'm so blown away by the fact that these people are mean to me about it that I'm okay being the oh, I'm going to play my card. I'm going to play my 9/11 card and talk about the fact that my dad watched so many people jump off those buildings and hit the pavement and splatter that he just it just fucked him up, man. He didn't take good care of himself. He didn't deal with his PTSD. He didn't he got to drinking and he became really abusive and terrible, and it was really fucking awful watching him slowly die it took a long time. He didn't die until 17 years after 9/11, which was a long time ago now, but it was just a horrible thing to grow up watching, and of course I was subject to his abuse, so there's that, and I can blame him for that. I can blame him for the fact that he didn't get better help or whatever. I can sit and talk about my experience, but it all just boils down to the fact that these fucking Trump supporters don't fucking care about the suffering of other people. When we were flying helicopters over Iraq and shit, that was cool. You can play fucking rock music over that and it's cool. Oscar bringing up that he's literally a 9/11 victim just for context in a conversation where maybe 9/11 is a relevant topic, maybe terrorism is a relevant topic, maybe Islam is a relevant topic, maybe the conflicts in the Middle East are a relevant topic. Oscar bringing that up and saying this is how I feel about it, this is what that means to me, this is how this has affected my life. That's some pushy online debate bro bullshit, and they're gonna dog on it, and they can't even see that it's the most un-American thing that happens on my show, in my very biased opinion, because it's one thing to be so blind to it that you just think of these things as the others, but it's why I bring Raven and Ezra up to talk about trans issues, because I can't connect with it in the way that they do, and we don't get to see a transphobe being mean to a trans person unless there's a trans person here defending themselves. But the card I get to play is that we literally get to see MAGA Americans who take their fucking freedom for granted be mean to a 9/11 victim. The thing that grosses me out about it most... Yeah, TikTok thinks the stream is inactive. The thing that grosses me out about it most is that, I have a family, when I talk about my father, I have siblings, and my mom's still alive, so, I'm kind of airing our dirty laundry. It feels a little icky talking about family stuff to a wide audience that I have, but, I just feel it's important. We were supposed to never forget, right? So, like, if people are fucking forgetting what 9/11 meant to Americans, and my dumb ass remembers it, even though I was 6 years old, like, maybe I just have to do the work of fucking reminding people that, like, 9/11 was a day that America learned what freedom is about, because we gotten so complacent with being safe and secure on our home turf that the very idea of something from the sky coming and killing you was such an affront to us that we waged wars for decades about it. And here we are being the people who are sending the hellfire from the skies to go kill innocent people, and they can't see the fucking parallel. Like, yeah, they flew commercial airliners into my dad's building. We're flying drones into apartment buildings, like fucking sending Tomahawk missiles into a school. How do they not see the fucking parallel? How do they not see that the human cost of all of what's happening is fundamentally the most important thing? This isn't about gotchas. This isn't about who's right and who's wrong. It's just about people fucking suffering. And the one fucking example that we have since literally Pearl Harbor of another country actually doing a decent job of getting a fucking strike in, getting a fucking attack in on the United States, that we were so fucking incensed about it. How did we forget so fucking quickly that shit matters? And one of the things that's great about being an American is that generally that type of shit doesn't happen here. You know, a building blowing up that a bunch of people work in, a bunch of families dying, a bunch of people seeing a bunch of fucked up shit and getting PTSD and becoming alcoholics about it. That's pretty fucking normal for humans. We're horrible monsters, us humans. We do that shit on Earth all the time. And these Americans don't realize that it is just like that in so many other places, often because of us. They're so down this hole of not recognizing the fucking horror that is, that they've managed to forget that it happened to us in living memory. Like, it's a joke to people that I can remember 9/11 because they don't think I'm fucking old enough to. I'm 30. I know I look a little young because I fucking take care of myself. Whoopsie daisy. But, like, I don't know. There's my 9/11 rant. I don't have a caller, so I'm just fucking yapping. But like it's uncomfortable for me to talk about 9/11. I don't like playing the victim. I don't like doing that role. I like playing the person who doesn't care about what happened to me or about facts about me. I like just making good arguments and knowing the references and being able to show the evidence. Like literally just Googling if Trump was in the Epstein files for that previous caller. I like doing a job that anybody could do because it's not about me, it's about what I say. But like, you're gonna be fucking mean to me about being a 9/11 victim. You're gonna be fucking mean to my co-host because they're a veteran. What the fuck happened to Republicans? There's so much shit right now that we should be on the same team as the Republicans about. You know, they're trying to take our guns away. That should concern the Republicans. Stay home or die. That should concern the Republicans. The president's not following the Constitution. That should fucking concern the Republicans. Like, how? I thought it would take longer. I thought it would take longer than 20 years to brainwash Republicans into thinking that shit doesn't matter. And a lot of people are going to say that it's been happening since Reagan and even before that, and it's just like a deeper fucking problem than that. And it is. It's not about Trump. It's a bigger machine than him. I'm just going to keep saying we got to hold Trump accountable or it's going to keep getting fucking worse. But it's one of the things about the psychology of my callers I just so don't fucking understand, that literally the fact that we're supposed to be proud to be Americans and never forget 9/11, that shit goes out the window once they realize their enemy, the fucking soy boy they're talking to on TikTok, is a 9/11 victim. That means that couldn't possibly mean that maybe they have something nice to say to the soy boy. That couldn't possibly mean that there's some patriotic common ground for them and the soy boy to stand on. The very notion disgusts them to the point that all they have to say is fuck you for being a 9/11 victim. Fuck you for bringing it up. Have your baby bottle. Have your fucking cookie. You know what? Fuck you. I don't need a cookie. I need people to fucking listen to me because we're forgetting that fucking 9/11 happened. I don't care about me. It's not fucking me. It's just fucking un-American. Thanks everybody. Thanks for listening. We've got Septic Salad. He's gonna try again. I'm going to see if he's mean to me about 9/11. Maybe that's what happens next. How old are you, Septic Salad? Septic Salad, I do remember you. I just need to be reminded how old you are.
Yeah, I'm 40.
Okay, what are we talking about?
Which I hope you don't take it as mean, but I also thought you were 40. I don't know where the younger look comes from. You look older. I don't know. Maybe you just mature. Not saying it's a bad thing.
Cool.
But I mean, in terms of the mentality, I guess if you're looking for the mentality, I think it's it's not from a position of like hate versus love kind of thing. I think the difference is that it's so easy to say, oh yeah, we need medical care for all. Yes, everyone needs to be taken care of. Everyone this, and like, it's so easy to say those things, but it's hard to take the next step and be like, okay, can we afford medical care for all? Can we do these things?
We can, though. We literally can. Like, there's a time in America. No. I know you're calling in. I'm a little keyed up from ranting about 9/11, so I am just gonna like keep the energy up because you have already been mean to me in this call, and you've already brought up something that further upsets me about the perspective that conservatives and Trump supporters generally have about this situation, which is that if you want to focus on this if you want to focus on the again part of this, I always have to put the asterisk on that if we have to only be talking about middle class and wealthy white people because it's never been great for anybody other than that group. But if we want to talk about the greatest time in American history, it was when the fucking tax rates were highest and we were using the money to build American infrastructure and pave the highways that made us like a completely connected society. Because just before living memory, just before World War II, we were basically a bunch of disconnected cities and it was hard to fucking do anything in this country. And it is taxpayer money that paid for the programs that allowed us to take the next step to become a prosperous society. The roads are fucking built. The interstates are doing great. The next fucking thing is free healthcare. How do you not see that as obvious?
Because current projections of healthcare it would be between $4 and $5 trillion a year. We can't afford it.
We literally can afford that if we tax wealthy people and corporations in the way that we did in the 40s and 50s and 60s when we were building the interstate and other infrastructure things that made America great as the aging
we could do it again. We could do it again if we had obesity rates similar to those times that you were talking about.
You know what? If we had better budgets for healthcare and education and social programs, that would help the obesity problem because people would be better educated about nutrition. They'd have better access to food. People would have better public transportation, so they'd be able to go to the better grocery store instead of having to shop at the convenience store that overcharges them for food that's bad for them. There's a bunch of socioeconomic, like institutionalized problems in our society that have been getting worse and worse and worse during the 50 years that corporations have taken control of our politics to disallow the sort of progressive tax rates that allow this sort of progress in the country. Like, they are fucking succeeding at making us fat and stupid, and you're sitting here saying that the problem is that we're fat and stupid.
Yeah, so you're saying we should make America healthy again?
Yeah. We should do it.
That's part of the Trump administration.
Yeah, I also like some socialist ideas. That doesn't mean I want to be a Nazi just because they have socialist in their title. Don't be fucking ridiculous. I think that MAGA is a misnomer. I think that they use a slogan like that so that people like you can tell people like me, oh, you want to make America healthy again? That's an RFK slogan. You must support RFK. No, dumb fuck. It's disingenuous. You know I don't think he's doing a good job of that, even if we agree on what the slogan should be. Be fucking better on my show if you want to stay. There's other people in the queue and I'm in a bad mood.
Yes, but you want that. You want the chemicals taken out of the foods. You want the additives taken out of the foods. You want
water.
You want better nutrition
I understand chemistry's too much to take seriously. You telling me that we should take chemicals out of food? You understand that water is a chemical, right?
I understand.
So when you say take chemicals out of food, what does that mean?
It would be harmful chemicals, obviously. That was implied. Obviously, everything is chemicals. No shit. I think we should take harmful chemicals out of food. I wager that you and I disagree on what harmful chemicals are. I think we should trust the scientists. I don't think you and I should talk about it. I doubt either of us are qualified. We've already banned a couple dyes that were shown to be harmful.
Fucking great, dude. Can we get back to the fact that we're not taxing rich people enough to actually make good progress on any of these issues, even though the money's on the fucking table? $4 trillion? What a pussy ass bitch little figure that is in consideration of the big beautiful bill, which increased the deficit in this country by not a number of trillions.
$4 to $5 trillion a year is a pussy figure? Like what?
Yeah, in light of what Trump is doing to the deficit, that's fucking nothing. That shouldn't be a problem.
If we just lowered rates to match the other first world countries, we'd have... it would cost you for universal health care $1 to $2 trillion. Do you not think that's significant? And how are the other first world countries achieving
what I'm saying is that Trump is doing
taxing the rich?
What I'm saying, they do tax their wealthy more than we do, the countries that are doing this. So that's just wrong. We could literally look at
not to the point that you're talking about.
I mean, the math figures are different because they're different countries that have been building these social programs more progressively for longer. Yes, so catching up would be a little bit more expensive than going back to the past and just continuing to do it for the last 80 years, which is what we should have done. But the fact of the matter is that you lack perspective on this if you think that $1 or $2 or $3 or $4 trillion is an unacceptable price tag, because Trump literally does shit that expensive that doesn't benefit the American people.
Why do you think it doesn't benefit the American people?
Because redistributing wealth from the poor to the wealthy doesn't help most people, and that's the sort of thing that he did that cost that much in the big beautiful bill.
He's making financial injections into military technology development, which is an inelastic export product that he's going to export to the rest of the world, which strengthens the dollar. In addition to, we have record high natural gas production, which is specifically going to exports, and he's injecting a shit ton of money into infrastructure to make it more efficient and cost effective.
We could hope that in 10 or 20 or 30 years that would trickle down, even though all of these trickle down economics have just shown themselves decade over decade. You're saying that you're going to bolster the fucking defense.
That we benefit from infrastructure. You are the one that made that claim. You're like, oh, the roads that made us interconnected. How about the pipelines that interconnect our economy to the rest of the world? Like, you are the one that made that claim. I'm just backing it up that Trump's doing.
I'm not saying that every piece of infrastructure proposed in the big beautiful bill is bad. There's plenty of good shit. There's a bunch of tasty, colorful sprinkles they put on that dog turd to get people like you to focus on the sprinkles instead of the dog turd itself. The fact of the matter is that if we're trying to balance the books in the way that benefit the American people, the net benefit to the American people was fucking horrendous with the big beautiful bill. And if we look at the sorts of policies that people like Joe Biden actually passed during their term, we see exactly what you're talking about. He spent money directly on infrastructure. He wanted to hire Americans to build bridges and shit. That's great. You're talking about Biden, not Trump, who pretended he was doing enough of that shit in the big beautiful bill for it to be worth it, when if you're halfway decent at math, you know it isn't. You're drinking the fucking Kool-Aid, dude.
Biden did not. It's a completely different macroeconomic theory that Biden was using versus Trump. Trump is trying to transition us from an export economy. Biden was just building infrastructure in order to increase the volume of consumers.
The example I literally started with when we began this little tirade about whether or not we should be taxing people to benefit American people or whatever, literally was infrastructure. I was talking about the interstates, which were built in the middle of the 20th century with this ridiculously high as 90% some years in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. We had this crazy high tax rate to accomplish all these things. And the fact of the matter is the people getting taxed that high simply don't suffer because they still have enough money to eat whatever they want for dinner, to live in whatever house they want, to drive whatever kind of car they want, to have however big a swimming pool in their backyard they want to have constructed. The fact is you don't change the quality of life of a wealthy person. You just piss them off because they're not winning the fucking high score that they've been after their entire life. And nobody should be winning that fucking high score. It's so much less important than the suffering of everyday Americans. I don't understand your position at all.
You keep the money in the hands of the billionaires who want to invest. I mean, who do you think? It wasn't the government that built our entire electric grid. Who do you think did that? A billionaire similar to Elon Musk. Who's building the infrastructure?
I'm a lot of my depth on this, but I think all of that was subsidized. I'm chat. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure all of the major interconnection stuff, the phone lines and the internet and stuff like that, was subsidized heavily by the government because they saw the value in it.
Are you talking about? I was talking about the electric grid.
The government. Okay. You brought up the electrical grid. I'm saying that all of that stuff, the phone lines, the electrical grid. I started with the interstates. These are things that when they do better, we succeed. So it makes sense to subsidize them. What's your fucking point?
It wasn't all subsidized. It was large upfront investment by private entities who had the extra money to invest into new industries. That's the thing, is that people talk about the tax breaks that, they'll just use tax deductions to reinvest in their own industry.
So the chat is correcting me that I was right, or is not correcting me. The chat is backing up what I'm saying, and people can find a source if they want to get me to fact check on this. But yeah, we did subsidize those programs for exactly the reason I said. So you're just adding to the list of large infrastructure projects that it is good for the government to subsidize. You're making my point for me. I don't even need to say anything.
Okay. I mean, if they did, then that's fine. And also, Elon Musk's, should in the big or in the infrastructure bill, the money should have gone towards subsidizing Elon Musk's building of Starlink rather than.
By the way, I see you let the Wookiee in the chat. I see you. You're not blocked. Sorry. Continue what you're saying.
I was saying in the infrastructure bill that you cited by Biden, he should have invested that. Like, it was like $70 billion or something. He should have invested that into Starlink in order to accelerate
splitting hairs about $70 billion when Trump increased the budget by like trillions. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
You're the one who said that trillions is a water in the bucket. You said, who cares if we spend $5 trillion on free healthcare when we could spend under 2. You're saying that trillions don't matter.
I'm saying that from your perspective, it's silly that you care about trillions when you're okay with things that are more expensive than that don't benefit the American people in the way that I'm saying we should.
I'm saying that if we had obesity rates similar to the rest of the world, we wouldn't even have a debt. We'd be paying it down every single year. We wouldn't have a deficit that you're talking about. You're worried about him increasing the deficit.
Whack-a-mole, dude. It's whack-a-mole, dude. Whatever. Like, we're talking about a lot of stuff. We're talking about a lot of different types of social programs. We're talking about a lot of different ways in which taxpayer money could benefit the American people. And whichever one of them I talk about, whichever point I smack down, you bring up another one. So, like, I got you cornered on this, and now you're talking about making kids healthy again. We already fucking talked about that. Like, it's not. You're flailing. You're like, it's not good conversation. It's hard for people to follow. We don't get any points covered. None of the things I'm saying when I rebut you on these are being addressed if you're just going to bring up some other thing. So, like, why the fuck are you talking about the fact that we have an obesity problem in America? We fucking do. I would love to have a reasonable conversation about how we can address that. I was trying when I said that we could address it.
And Trump's trying to address it.
Is he trying to make education better? Is he trying to make good groceries accessible to poor
yes,
people?
Like, he just expanded like the Pell Grant to trade schools and moving away from the 4-year college degrees.
The Pell Grant for trade schools is on its own a good thing. I don't think it's a coincidence I'm sorry. Was I done?
I'm just saying you seem to like a lot of policies that Trump's implementing, and I do too.
I'm going to finish my point, which is that it's funny that your example is one of the things that gets rural voters to vote for Trump. Oh, trade school subsidies? That sounds really good. It would be better if we subsidize the education system generally. Why are you zooming in on an example that happens to be one that's really good for his constituents? The effect of trade schools on...
No, it's better for the economy.
Yeah,
because people who have trades actually contribute to the economy.
Yes, but more people would contribute better to society if instead of focusing on trade school, which helps Trump voters disproportionately, we just focused on fucking school generally. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with no taxes on tips. Like I said, you're talking about the sprinkles on the dog turd. I'm talking about the fucking dog turd. Stop taking the sprinkles off the dog turd and eating them, and pay attention.
Okay, you're saying the dog turd. You're saying if we focus on education, we've spent trillions on education. I just look at Baltimore education school system. They look at how much money they get. How does injecting money into any of these school systems actually help the education system? Do you think
school would be better or worse in America if we hadn't spent that money?
I think it would be better. I think if we focus on trades... That's fucking
insane. That's bananas.
I think if we focus on trades...
No. We're going to zoom in on that. You're mad about spending money on education, and you're arguing that the education system would somehow have been worse if we hadn't invested in it? Yes, education is a problem. We are struggling in America right now. There's a thing happening technologically where everybody's burying their faces in phones, and it's really damaging our collective psychology. People function psychologically in a different way than they did in the past. I'm a millennial. I'm the last generation of people who are smarter than their parents. The generation younger than me is the first generation that the psychologists actually unilaterally agree are dumber than their parents, and it's because of dependence on technology, and we're not coping with that well. We have an emergency in education, and your solution, you're so mad about the fact that that's happening that you think it must be because we spent money on it, and you don't realize that we need to spend more money on it. It's insane, dude. You're drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm an educator, by the way.
It's not. It has nothing to do with how much money you spend. It's about what areas of education.
I quit my job. I get to fucking say it. It's like I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I'm a fucking high school teacher. I was until this show became my full-time job. Just so you know.
What did you teach?
I was a substitute. I taught everything.
Okay, so you're not a high school teacher, so you weren't.
Fuck you,
dude. It's a little different.
No, I recognize that it is a little different, but I'm like the lead main substitute teacher because I'm so competent at teaching everything. I have a long history of being an educator. When I was in college, I tutored 17 different subjects. They gave me a little plaque that said tutored more subjects than fucking anybody. Like, I understand education and how in danger the system is right now.
The point of my question wasn't to appeal to credentialism. I wasn't trying to like say that you are, worthy of your intellectual positions or not based off of your career. That's not what I was pointing at.
I was telling you I have personal perspective on the education system. That's all I was just trying to just to know if you were teaching a useful subject like math or like useless, like that, because it's not about money. It's about the subjects that are being taught in school. And if we focus... I teach math, buddy.
If we focused more on trades in the education system, which, I mean, how much money... I mean, you taught at school, how much money budget is going to, the teaching them trades? How is that a significant portion of the education program?
You see, like, it's literally working on you. You're so stuck on this trade school thing. Let me just ask you this question. Do you think that the percentage of people who over the course of their careers are going to benefit from trade school is a large percentage?
I think literally everyone would, yes.
You think everybody should go to trade school?
I think yes. I think instead of how long we are in high school learning stuff that it was pointed out to me in another live just the other day that how often do you use trigonometry at work? How often? It's like yes. I think honestly there is a valid point to that because I think a lot of the stuff is not very useful in your day-to-day life. Not even useful. No,
you're just demonstrating that you have a very limited perspective on how diverse and complicated the economy and the whole world is. If you think that everybody would benefit from trade school, there's lots of jobs where trade school wouldn't be beneficial at all. And what would have been beneficial is if they learned how to read better in primary school, which is something that, as I just described, we are really struggling with right now for multiple reasons. The advent of technology has made it hard because we're pretty sure that screens are bad for kids' ability to learn, and that's like a big problem in education right now. And the current generation of students that are graduating high school are students who had a big chunk of their primary education robbed of them by COVID because it was a disaster what happened with COVID, and it was terrible that kids couldn't go to school. That was the right choice for safety because, literally safety first. Safety ranks higher than education. So we had to focus on safety during COVID, so we robbed these kids of their education so that they wouldn't die, so their family members wouldn't die, so more people wouldn't die. And that's a big problem that we're dealing with as an entire planet. And you're sitting here saying that trade school is going to fix the problem when realistically the number of people who would actually benefit from trade school after their primary education, I would argue, is probably a single-digit percentage because most people get jobs that don't require any sort of trade school education where they would benefit more from improvements to their primary education, which I, as an educator, know is a serious problem in America right now.
Yeah, so exactly, you made him a point is that you're saying that we should focus in a specific area, and it's like mathematics or whatever. I brought up the point that no, the majority of people don't actually use any type of mathematics.
I'm going to give you pushback on that because
it would be a percentage of a percentage.
I'm going to give you
that actually use
pushback on
calculus.
That. Listen, I'm going to give you pushback on that because I don't think that just because you haven't done a trigonometry problem as an adult, it doesn't mean that you are not a person who is better for having learned trigonometry in high school. You become more intelligent as an adult if you learn more complicated things when you're younger. Your brain works better. You don't even realize when you're using the intuition that you have from having learned trigonometry in high school. It's why it doesn't matter which books you read. Largely, if you're a person who reads a lot, you are more literate and educated, even if it was fucking fiction. It's just a thing about how our brains work. Education is a system where we try to take people, we try to take humans, where we have this problem. We're an altruistic species, which is not to be confused with altruism. It's a similar etymological root, but it isn't the same thing. An altruistic species is one where most of the development neurologically in terms of self-sufficiency happens after birth. Humans are fucking useless for like 15 or 20 years after we're born, whereas some animals are ready to hunt the moment they fall out of their mother's vagina. We're not like that. We have to have a societal system, and the reason society is getting better, the reason language is getting more complicated, the reason medicine is getting better, the reason technology is getting better, the reason art is getting better is because we do this thing where collectively we work together to make the altruistic component of our development, the period after we're born where we're still fucking useless and need help. How helpless is a fucking baby compared to a newborn horse? A newborn horse can fucking walk. I'm talking about improving this system so the people who are done developing, the people who we pump into the workforce when they turn 18 or 21 or whenever exactly it is for them, they are across the board more qualified. That is what public education is for. That is why it is free and compulsory, because it is so obviously necessary to the advancement of society to keep that process going. And you're sitting here saying that we should benefit a small percentage of those people by giving them trade school. You don't understand the system you're talking about, not one bit.
I think every person who enters an academic field in the workforce would actually have a better thinking brain if they learned a trade prior to that.
You didn't listen to a word I said to that. That's the same point I could tell by how quickly you started talking when I was done that you were just waiting for me to finish. You didn't listen to a word I just said.
Yes, I did. Because I'm not disagreeing with your position that we need a certain foundation of certain levels of education.
What I'm saying is giving that to everybody. What I'm saying is giving that to everybody
which is
more
what
important.
We're already doing.
No, we're not. We're dealing with a very serious problem, which is that because of screens and because of COVID, we have the first regressive period in education for humans on Earth. There's an emergency. With
that doesn't mean we're not giving education. What are you talking? Those things have not ended the education system.
They have hurt it, and you are talking about privileging a small percentage of people by giving them trade school.
What I'm talking about is transforming
for everybody.
What I'm saying is transforming the education system in a way to combat that. Clearly, what we've been implementing is not combating that. As you said yourself, things have been going down. The next generation is, demonstrably less intelligent because of these things. So how do we must change the very nature of the education system in order to combat the effects of screens. A way to do that might be wiring the brain with trades.
That is after the problem has happened. I just described early childhood development. How quickly a person learns how to read. How young a person is when they get good at math or problem solving. Trade school isn't going to fix that. It's a band-aid, and I'm talking about preventing the injury in the first place by fixing primary education.
I'm talking about putting trades in primary education too.
I wouldn't even be against that. That would literally just be what I'm suggesting doing, which is improving primary school education with taxpayer money. You're so twisted in a pretzel, you found yourself making arguments for what I'm suggesting we do, because what you're suggesting is not trade school.
You are agreeing with my position in the first place.
That's not trade school. That's just primary education, you fucking idiot who probably went to primary school.
I said introducing more trades, having more emphasis throughout, K through 12, more emphasis, shifted, not injecting more money.
I think people should learn how to work with their hands. I think people should have shop class. I think people should learn basic electronics wiring. I agree with these educational principles. But you're stuck on those instead of the whole problem, which involves literacy and mathematics and sociology and history and biology and all of these things that are really important.
I think they would learn all those things better if they had more education in working with their hands, like you said. They would absorb
but you're stuck on that, and I'm saying it's so much bigger than that.
I don't think it is. I think
you don't think it's important for us to teach civics in school? You don't think that that's a bigger problem than teaching plumbing in school? I think I'd be if I could choose to give everybody a basic education in civics or a basic education in plumbing, which do you think would be better for America? Plumbing. That's fucking ridiculous.
It would be plumbing. Plumbing would be the better thing to teach.
That's fucking nonsense. That's nonsense. Because everybody's supposed to vote. We want everybody to become an eligible voter. Do we want everybody to become a plumber?
Yeah, I mean that we do. We do want a more robust labor force. That's why Biden was injecting.
You think I'm being hyperbolic?
Millions and millions of skilled laborers.
I said, do you want everybody to be a plumber? Every single person.
No, I don't want every single person to be a plumber.
Do you want everybody to be able to make reasonable decisions in the voting booth? Do you want people to be able to make reasonable decisions about exactly what the job of the people they're electing are?
If civics made that the case, then it would be the case that they'd be able to make reasonable decisions.
Civics would help with that, yeah.
I don't think it would help as much as learning trades would. I think learning trades would help your brain make those better choices even more than teaching anything about civics.
Thinking that plumbing is a skill that makes you better at picking a president is why Trump is president.
No, it's about the way your brain is wiring at an early age that helps you have the cognitive abilities to suss out information, to solve problems, look at things, look at the big pictures, see where nodes are incorrect. It's wiring your brain that way that is more important than teaching
Plumbing's
civics.
A good skill. It helps with that, but I'm saying that just focusing on what the actual educators and sociologists and child development experts, they're not saying, oh my God, we're not teaching enough plumbing in elementary school. They're saying, oh my God, we're not doing good enough teaching kids how to read in elementary school. Why aren't you listening to them? Sure, teach high schoolers plumbing. I would support that program.
I think that kids would learn how to read better if they focused more on not looking at a piece of paper.
I'm sorry. Are you suggesting that you know better than
brain
the educators?
Development.
Have you studied early childhood development? Are you familiar with Piaget's stages of development? Are you familiar with like any of the science around?
Oddly enough, I have some college credits in early childhood development because I took one of those test out things where if you take the test and
CLEP.
then you get the CLEPs. I took a CLEP and
I've taken a CLEP exam. I'm familiar with that. Yeah, you can laugh at me about it, but I think that the education system has failed for giving you those credits if you think this way about early childhood development.
I mean, the education system has clearly failed year over year for how long?
Look, if you want to do a dick measuring competition, we can literally talk about the fact that I'm a lifelong educator who has tons of college credits and that type of stuff. So if you just want to measure dicks about it, mine is
failing system.
But if we're gonna measure dicks, mine's bigger. So quit. Come on, I'm gonna win the jousting match.
Okay,
it doesn't matter. You're wrong. The childhood psychologists disagree with you.
You agree with the childhood psychologists who are pushing a certain type of education, and that certain type of education has resulted in what? Clear failure for decades. You talk about just screens, and no, it's been going on forever.
But they have been begging for more money from the government, and the government has been failing to give them that money.
And every time they inject more money, it's not better outcomes. Because because you and them are advocating for a system that doesn't work.
False. That's just false, dude. No, schools do better when you give them more money. You can find examples where the money doesn't get used well. There's counterexamples. There's fraud. There's waste, fraud, and abuse in every program. But in general, if you inject money into an education system, the outcomes are better for the students, and the students are then the people who run that society a few years later, and that's better. Maybe if we taught more kids to read, they would leave school and go, you know what? I should go to trade school because my education has taught me that learning more things is valuable, and I should learn a hyper-specific trade for the path I want to take. I think more people would go to trade school just as a result of their own volition if we taught them to read better when they were younger. What, you're just...
They wouldn't even need to make that choice because they'd already have a trade by the time they exited high school.
We're talking about what would be the best expenditure of our money, and what I'm saying is that if we just focused on getting kids to read instead of forcing them to be plumbers, they'd make more reasonable decisions in their careers. Not everybody should be a plumber, dude. Your perspective is narrow.
And I fundamentally disagree with you. That's why I'm saying that I think that the logic gates that open up in your brain when you are taught a trade at an early stage in education would actually help you make better decisions than reading about Christopher Columbus in 1492. I fundamentally disagree with your position.
You just think that plumbing is more important than no. You just think that learning hard labor is more important than all of education. And for 150 years in America, we've been working away from training kids how to do hard labor and making them intelligent academics. What the fuck are you talking about? You want to go back to the 1800s?
No, I don't want to go back to the 1800s.
Okay,
I want to go to a time where
we should teach students to be academics, and then some of them will choose to be manual laborers, and they will go to trade school and learn some really cool stuff. I approve of shop programs. I approve of including a proportioned approach to where manual labor fits in our society in the public school education system. I'm with you on that. You're saying that's all we should be focusing on instead of the fact that children are getting dumber? Never mind the fact that kids are being dumber. We'll just make them plumbers. That's your perspective, right?
No, I think that they're in early education systems that you're talking about, there was a lack of the certain fundamentals in things like mathematics that you're talking about that would qualify you as having standards of being academic, right? But now we can meet those foundational principles. But we don't have to continue pushing that. We don't have to push everyone to be academics.
Okay,
we need to push everyone to...
Plumbers are important. Are doctors important?
We need to push them to be tradesmen.
Are lawyers
and
important?
Then some will
are judges
choose
important?
Academics.
It's ridiculous, dude. I have, you know what? I'm at a point in this conversation. Listen,
not particularly.
Oh, immigration lawyers aren't important for dealing with the mass immigration problem? Oh no, I'm sure we can have an interesting conversation about that.
Net negative immigration without them.
Yeah, by violating people's civil liberties. The lawyers would have something to say about that. Good job.
We didn't violate their civil liberties. We just told them no. You can't come in illegally.
I'm done with this conversation. You're not making an argument for I have made tons of arguments about why I think I'm right about the approach to education, and you're just sitting here saying no, more plumbers. It's just not an argument.
Well, your argument boils down to supporting a system that fails. The more we try to transform the entire population into academics, the more the system fails. So I mean,
I'm just gonna let him go because that's just not true, and he's not listening. So if you're having fun with Pissy Oscar, this is the Pissy Oscar show, where instead of normal Oscar, it's Pissy Oscar. If you like Pissy Oscar, you can go to the link tree in my bio and follow me on the other platforms. That supports me for free. It doesn't cost a dime. If you have a dime you want to spare, you can send it to my Venmo, Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, or Patreon. And that makes it so that it's reasonable that I quit my job as an educator to try to educate Chudge on TikTok instead. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Spicy Oscar. No, Spicy Oscar, that's a different account. We're going to talk to Dylan and see what the fuck Dylan wants to talk about. How old are you, Dylan?
I'm 18.
All right. I believe you. You a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Okay, why?
So, we originally talked about... I've came on this show before, about...
Oh, I think I remember who you are. You talked about abortion and trans rights, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So... I want you to tell me if what I believe about the border or the deportation and immigration system, I want you to tell me if you think it's more of the left side to think this or the right side. So my belief is I like the idea of getting criminals out of the country. I just don't like the way he's going about it with telling ICE to like racially profile people or like just deport everybody, even if they're like a born citizen in the US and stuff like that. But I still like the idea of getting the people that are causing harm out of the country if they're truly illegal.
Okay. Generally speaking, that does sound like a left-leaning perspective on immigration. A lot of people on the right would say that because people like me hang up a sign that says "fuck ICE," that what this sign actually says is like, I want there to be illegal immigrants, or I want these violent, dangerous criminals to stay in. But the reason I say "fuck ICE" is actually because of something you brought up, and something, and a bunch of issues like what you brought up. You brought up profiling. I don't think it's acceptable that ICE is profiling. It sounds like you don't think that that's acceptable either. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, and I have like personal experience with a kid at my school. ICE raided the classroom and basically threw him on the ground with him not resisting at all, and threw him on the ground and basically was telling him that he was about to go back to his home country, even though his parents, his grandparents, and him were all U.S. citizens and born in it. But just because he looked of a Spanish descent, they tried to send him back.
So when I say "fuck ICE" specifically, I'm saying "fuck ICE" for doing shit like that. Because I believe you. I've seen, like whether or not what your anecdotal stories are true or not actually doesn't matter for me personally, because I have seen that happen a lot. I live in Minneapolis and I watched the way that ICE agents interact with the public, and it's reprehensible. They were having fun saying those sorts of things to people. They're having fun macing people. They're having fun kneeling on people's backs and taunting them about how they're not going to see their families again. Like, it's really fucking horrible the way that they behave. So that's why I say fuck them. I think immigration is a big problem. Like, it's not good that we have about 12 million illegal immigrants. We need to address that in some drastic, expensive, probably controversial way. I just think that I think it's a violation of a person's civil liberties to be profiled by law enforcement in that way. And that's just one example. I listed some other use of force examples, but there's a bunch about what they're doing that just isn't okay, regardless of what's being accomplished by it. And then if we want to talk about what's being accomplished by it, there are just better ways to go after the actually dangerous illegal immigrants who maybe came here to avoid persecution for their crimes in their own country or something like that. And I'd be, I'm always willing to have a practical conversation about what actually can be done about illegal immigration, as long as we start with this foundation of like, they gotta obey the Constitution, they gotta obey basic civil liberties, they gotta be trained properly,
Right.
So I just to go back to the question you started with, it does sound to me like you have a liberal perspective, but I think that one of the things that happens, like just in the discourse and in the media about this, is that Republicans paint the liberal perspective to be something more extreme than it is, so that you can think, I'm not one of those crazy liberals who wants to just open the floodgates and let all the criminals in, because that's not really what hardly any of us think. I don't actually know. I talk to a lot of liberals in my life. I'm pretty involved in this protest space around ICE here in Minneapolis. I don't know a single person who thinks that way. And if I met one of them, I'd tell them that they're fucking crazy and it's silly what they think.
Right. Sorry.
No worries.
So, I do have another question to ask you. You brought up like you think that it's a very problem. It's a very bad problem that we need to address. Let's say you were president, and what would be like a way that you went about really making a difference in the immigration system?
I would probably use the executive authority. I'd probably file executive orders to create committees whose job it would be to listen to experts in the field who can back their claims up with data and science about, particularly I'd want to listen to sociologists, the people who study like how societies function, and I would want to find a correction to the problem of there being 12 million illegal immigrants that gets what we want, gets these people either documented or deported, and just does it in a way that doesn't hurt anybody. I'm really about suffering. I remember we talked about suffering when we talked about abortion, where because I don't think that an aborted, first trimester fetus or zygote suffers. I just don't value their perspective because I don't think they have a perspective. I value the perspectives of the people involved. So I would use the executive authority. I would use the executive order to establish commissions to design reforms to our immigration system that would address these problems with a really big focus on harm reduction. I do have some ideas about what I think those committees would come up with, but I would yield the authority to the experts. I wouldn't present my own program.
Right. Okay. Well,
I think that what they would come up with is I would hope that the solution would be mass amnesty. I think most of the illegal immigrants deserve to stay, just in an ethical sense, and I think that would be good for Americans. I think that'd be good for people here. I think that's what the sociologists would find, but I would just want everything to be really, really data backed based on how things actually go out in the real world. Right.
So let me ask you this: Would you try and take some of that and put it into an order where I don't know the exact word for it, so I'm basically just going to describe what it is. The process of becoming like legal. Like, I know it's like really slow right now in the U.S. Would you try and make that faster, or would you just like?
Yeah, there's two prongs to the issue of immigration. It's one, what do we do with the illegal immigrants who are already here? Because there's 12 million of them. Because I'm talking about mass amnesty, letting most of them stay, so we can focus on the ones that need to be deported. That wouldn't fix the problem necessarily, because we would just have to do that every like 10 years or so after they piled up, right? Because that wouldn't stop illegal immigration from continuing. So in addition to that, we need to catastrophically redesign the process that people use to become legal residents in such a way that people are no longer incentivized to break the rules. Because if millions of people are incentivized to break the rules, that's just a problem that's going to plague us forever. And you can just call it illegal and say that we should deport those people, but it just doesn't change the fact that the problem is going to continue. And Trump has shown us that the only way to make the problem go away other than fixing the system is by violating people's civil rights in such a way that you yourself called in and said you don't like, and that will just scare people away from illegally immigrating, which is just that's two wrongs not making a right, in my opinion. So yeah, that's the other side of it. Mass amnesty is what I think we would do for those who are here. But if we're going to spend a bunch of money hiring ICE agents, we may as well spend a bunch of money bolstering the bureaucratic processes that people have to use to apply for citizenship so that we can process them faster, come up with a better system.
Right. Okay. Well, what was the other thing I was going to talk about? I think that's all because I can't remember it, but I appreciate you taking the time and talking to me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you calling in. I know you're open-minded and you're just trying to understand this stuff better. And one of the things I really hope comes of my show is that more people on the right or maybe in the middle who are still making up their mind, people like you, can see that even a pretty extreme, liberal, zany, crazy guy like Oskar Quentin, actually, if we sit down and talk about it, I have some like pretty reasonable approaches to this. I don't, this image of me being like, open the floodgates, let all the illegal immigrants in. I don't care about crime. Like, that's just not actually what any of us believe. Nobody who should be taken seriously thinks that way. And quite frankly, my show wouldn't be successful if I thought that way, because thinking that way is fucking silly.
Okay. But yeah, I will say this before I leave. Watching your show has definitely, like you said, I'm kind of an open-minded person. Watching your show has really like opened my mind more, especially about the abortion thing that we had talked about previously, and especially on this. So I really appreciate you taking the time and talking to me about it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're one of the most important type of callers I get. It's fun clowning on the chuds, but that's not you. You're just trying to understand this stuff. So,
right, yeah.
Yeah, it comes from a place of care. I just spent a lot of today's episode talking about how the education system has really failed people your age, and so I'm happy to sit here and talk some of this stuff out.
Right. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to let you get to other callers. So you have a great day, bro.
Hope to talk to you soon, Dylan. Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
Well, that was nice. I think I needed that, everybody. I was so pissed off when he called. I had to be like, all right, calm down. Dylan doesn't get spicy Oscar. No spicy Oscar for Dylan. W's in the chat for Dylan. Seriously, that's it's a different thing every day running this show, and today was interesting. I think I don't know. I try to not be personal like too much on the show, even though I am doing like a parasocial thing where you guys like me and like watching me, so it's like fun for you guys to learn about what's going on in my life. My gig was fun last night. Had fun sang an original and some Johnny Cash and stuff. Had a good gig last night. So I appreciate people like liking me and wanting to like care about what's going on with me. But today was just one of those interesting episodes where I just like got into an absolute tizzy about the fact that like, yeah, you know what? I should let myself be mad that people are so fucking mean to me about 9/11. It's very, very heartwarming reading all the Instagram comments from people who watched clips of people being mean to me about 9/11 and like took a moment to like thank me for being vulnerable about it. And you know, I've got people like Raven and Ezra who come up and are vulnerable to people who are fucking mean to them about their identity and the issues that they struggle with in their life. And that's, I don't know. It takes some kind of bravery to talk about your own issues. I guess that's what I'll say after having talked about some of my own issues today. Yeah, today's a very personal episode. 9/11 and education, things Oscar's life has been about. Oh man, I think it's friendly time. We've got 15 minutes left, so if anybody wants to hop up and chat, we can do that. I think we can call the show a success in terms of attracting the chuds and go from there. Or maybe I'll just yap to the chat for 15 minutes. We've got Jacob Ekman, another debate host. I'll see what kind of mood he's in today. How's your day going, Jacob?
You know, it's going all right. I got one day until convention, which is gonna suck. I work with the Massachusetts Democratic Party, so it's our convention. It's 2 days, and I can't go live, so it's unfortunate. But I'm just packing right now, getting ready to head out tomorrow. So
busy out there doing the actual work of participating in your democracy.
Yeah, well, we try, that's for sure. Yeah, it's like it's definitely interesting. Be my first time, so.
Yeah, are you going to do any kind of content about it? Should I be following?
I have to ask. I want to, but they are very, very. When I started, they made it very clear that I was not able to discuss a lot of the inside happenings and stuff like that. And they're already really restrictive on who they allow in, like social media content creator wise. I'll definitely be getting photos and like some videos of behind the scenes. I just don't know how extensive it's going to be.
I can relate a little bit because as like a protester here in Minneapolis, there's definitely certain activities I've had to distance myself from because like security and secrecy is like important for safety so that people don't get like doxxed by the chuds or you know, like if we're you know, whatever. I'm a little too high profile these days to be like participating in the rebellion or whatever, you know. Like it's not really the role for me necessarily anymore, which is a little sad for me because I kind of miss getting up to more shenanigans at the Whipple and stuff, but it's just I recognize it's like operational security to have me involved in that stuff. So I bet it's kind of the same thing where I bet you feel good about what you're doing, but it's you know, double life, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's, you know, it is, I enjoy it. I'm very glad that I've had the opportunity here with the party that I have. You know, so I would never I'm very satisfied with my choices here, right? And yeah, they just like say like, oh, you can't use your position with the party to gain interviews or to gain clout, right? Like you can't like use that as a way to be able to grow your platform. But yeah, they just like make you sign an NDA. I can't say some stuff that like happens, but I have a feeling they'll probably let me like record some videos. So
yeah, just tread lightly. I know that's difficult to deal with. I'm actually going to let you go because there's a conversation I wanted to have with Raven, who's on the panel. So thanks for saying hi. But you know, you're always welcome during friendly time. But we had something a little bit planned today.
Yeah. Good luck. Just checking in, man.
Yeah, good to talk to you, Jacob.
Hey,
Raven.
I'm sorry to get your hopes up. I was hoping to maybe just talk about today's conversations instead.
Oh,
of,
sure, yeah. Well, actually, I see Dr. Dankenstein in the queue, so I think we might have a little wizard time, so we can do that quickly, and then we'll have Derek in.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about how today was a tragic example of why the overturning of Dobbs is so detrimental. Because needing experts' opinions is important, and thinking that you know better than experts is exactly why we are where we are.
Dunning-Kruger to the max, man. I mean, these people call in and they think they understand, like, reasonably complicated things. Like, I'm talking about...
The third grade biology comment pretty much nails it on the head. They understand very little of it and think that they're fucking experts.
Yeah. Or, I mean, the guy's talking to an educator, and I'm saying we have a massive problem, and he's saying trade school is the solution to the fact that our public education system is broken.
Which also is really ableist in its heart. Just saying, his whole argument is extremely ableist. It's assuming that everyone is going to be able to show up and do a trade.
Well, in addition to it being ableism is one of the ways in which that guy's worldview was really narrow. And that was like the general thing I was attacking him about. Is like, you just literally are thinking like, oh man, if I'd gone to trade school, I could have been a plumber faster or whatever. And it's like, most people's lives aren't going to be like that. The trade schools are important to a small number of people's paths, and which would, as you just pointed out, potentially exclude people who have disabilities. And I'm talking about the public school system that everybody uses. So, and I was even willing to say, sure, let's have a plumbing class in high school. I think household maintenance is like a class, like home ec basically would be a great high school class to be mandatory. You're going to learn how to rewire a lamp. You're going to learn how to like clean a carburetor or something like that.
That would be so helpful.
Yeah, those skills are mega important.
The irony that he is advocating for your program while thinking that he's making a point is actually really poetic.
Now it was pretty tasty that I, by the end of it, he was actually making points in favor of my side. He just didn't even realize it.
He's just too oblivious to realize it.
In order to make it work, he actually has to support putting it in the public education system,
right?
Which is what I was suggesting from the beginning.
From the beginning, he made it sound like screw any public funding, public education funding, only send it to post-education trade school.
Yeah. How you doing, Will?
And then he shifted
doing good
as needed during the conversation. No, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, and it was that whack-a-mole, right? It was like that thing about where no matter which point I address, he just brings up a different one that he already said that I already addressed, and it's just like, dude, fucking address the fact that I'm whacking these moles. It's working what I'm doing.
Like I always say, with conservatives, the longer you get them to talk, the more likely they are to end up agreeing with you.
Well, and it was interesting to have Dylan call in and be the follow-up call there, where he calls in and he's asking. He literally said, "I'm going to tell you what I think about immigration. Please tell me if this is a liberal or a conservative perspective on it." And it was
Dylan is my hope core. Just saying.
What?
Dylan is my hope core.
Yeah.
Gives me hope.
Yeah, he's he has recognized that he's not getting a clear answer on what exactly the liberals and the conservatives believe should happen with illegal immigrants. And I'm so honored that he wanted to ask me to clarify it, and shows that I'm winning some kind of trust with that type of voter.
A lot of young people really do want to learn, I've noticed.
Yeah. I've been privileged working with students, I think, who are doing a little bit better than a lot of students in America right now lately in my educational career. So I'm just excited about that.
But anywho, kick me. I got to get back to work, and I'll let somebody else have the floor.
We all got a slave. I'll catch you later, Raven.
Love you all.
Bye, Raven. I don't want me to interrupt Wizard time. I just had one quick thing that I wanted to bring up about the trade school point. I would love for home economics to be categorized as a trade school type of class, because that means we could then get anyone who's a stay-at-home parent, you could then get them a universal basic income, or make it so that they have to be paid for their labor, which I think would be outstanding.
Well, yeah, and I think I can just tack on to the whole home ec thing. Like, I gave some big manly examples, like fucking, cleaning a carburetor, whatever sexist, misogynistic crap is going to get the Republicans excited. But, like, God damn it, we also need to teach young people how to load a goddamn dishwasher, because I had roommates when I was in my early 20s. People do not make it to adulthood aware of how to load a goddamn dishwasher. Like, it's, we should learn some basic cooking. We should learn some, household stuff.
There are two schools of thought around loading the dishwasher. There is the people that load it with precision like a Swiss architect, and there are other people who load it like a raccoon that has gotten into some crank.
I think there's a spectrum.
You aren't using elves?
Yeah, well, the elves have rights in our realm, Great Wizard.
What? That's crazy. How'd they get that?
Yeah, they lobbied for rights. Turns out, according to the way that we define creatures in our realms, the elves are actually people, and they don't like it when we call them elves one bit. And we do have to give them equal labor rights.
Crazy.
Yeah,
we allow them to collectively bargain.
All that.
All right, Oscar, you can drop me down. Goodbye, Great Wizard. Bye.
Ah, yes. That gentleman was very fascinating, who believed that everyone should be learning trades.
Yeah, I do tend to agree. It has actually been quite good for our realm to allow everybody to have a fair shot in the labor force. That has been good for our realm.
From what I understand of your realm, though, trade schools were already very common.
Excuse me, Wizard. I have some important rules from my silly realm to follow. I know that Milky Kate is old enough. Ashley, how old are you?
Oh, I didn't mean to come up here. My cat hit a button.
W's in the chat for Ashley and for Ashley's cat.
Clearly a very clever creature.
How you doing, Kate?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing today?
Wow, we're graced with the presence of the wizard. I'm doing fantastically.
Awesome.
I hope to help you solve some of your non-magical problems. Oh, wait. Magical problem.
Kate, do you have any questions for the wizard to help with?
Yes. How may I help you fix your life with magic?
Oh, well, that would be lovely. I actually do. I have one question that really makes me ponder is the Electoral College. Like, why don't people understand what the Electoral College does and how, like, the whole thing, like, the majority vote opposed to the Electoral College, and how, Agent Orange basically paid off, possibly, people, around.
Thoughts on the Electoral College, Wizard?
The Electoral College. How? So this is a system, correct me if I'm wrong, but a system where people vote on someone and then those votes are thrown away and then other people do the real voting?
Technically, yes. That is how the Electoral College works, Great Wizard.
Yes.
Fascinating. And why do you have this system?
Well, it was made hundreds of years ago before we had better systems for tracking elections, and we just haven't updated it.
Right. It was so states that didn't have enough population, like, Rhode Island opposed to New York. So they would have people in the Electoral College representing them depending on how many people, how populated the state was.
Yes, so this sort of thing is very common in dying empires, where they no longer have the ability to fix problems that are that are causing massive issues. Yes, this is sort of the beginning of the death spiral, usually.
Yeah, I mean, we're following Roman imperialists to the T at this point. My other question is this: why have put so much? Because of the Electoral College, why are people putting so much importance on the majority vote when the Electoral College can totally reverse that? That's my problem.
Probably because they're stupid.
Well,
we do have a tremendous problem with stupidity in our realm, Great Wizard.
That is one of the largest problems you could have with any realm.
Yeah.
Yes, stupidity is a very serious issue.
But with your experience in other realms and other dimensions, you do think it's important for people to reform their antiquated rules of governance?
Oh, well, yeah, if you want to survive, sure. Gotta get with the times, bro. Like, I've gone through corporeal, non-corporeal forms just to, make sure that my essence can survive all of the stuff that's happening. There's lots of, different forms of demons that can do more damage to you if you have a corporeal form for them to attack. You have to be willing to change in order to survive.
Yeah, so just to update you, in our realm, everybody is stuck in a corporeal state.
Really?
Yeah. If the meat sack dies, we die with the meat sack. It's pretty lame here on Earth. Yeah, no good.
Why would you do that?
No bueno.
It just is like that here, which is why I personally think that the government should help people take care of their bodies and their health, because we only get the one, and we're really screwed over if we get sick or something. There's no spells for that here, so we what do you think about that? Do you think the government should help the common people with their meat sacks?
What do the common people provide? Who's in charge first?
The wealthy elite.
Yes.
The wealthy elite. And what do they get out of caring for the populace? So, they need the populace to be healthy in order to do jobs for them, correct?
Yeah. They mostly get labor out of it, but if they don't take care of them, we've seen in some other regions in our realm that tends to lead to, civil war and stuff like that. Very bad. So I just think that the rich people should take better care of the poor people so we can all live happily ever after.
Yeah, that's usually how to rule an empire 101. You care for the poor people. You give them bread. You give them gladiatorial games. You let them see orcs fighting giant fell beasts and cyclopses for fun.
We don't have different standards of entertainment here, but I get what you're saying. Ezra, do you have any questions for the wizard?
I do. I have a follow-up question to your corporeal essence. Do you have a favorite existence to be in for yourself? Like your favorite way to present yourself? Because I am a transgender.
Depends on where the ladies are, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If there's more ladies in the non-corporeal realms, guess where I'm going, you know what I'm saying?
I think I was meaning by the sense we're stuck in a very meat suit kind of body. So your favorite way to present yourself, because I am a trans man and I try my best to decorate myself differently to try to align with how I think my meat suit should look. But I'm curious how you present yourself in a way that feels affirming to you.
Oh, well, generally, I don't care about appearances as much as gaining raw power and ability to conquer others. But, I see that this is a problem for many people. It's something I've gotten over a lot. I've had so many bodies that have died that you sort of stop caring too much about any particular one. Yeah, it's sort of, but on the first one, obviously you care a lot. The first one, you gotta make sure that the first body is very well taken care of. And that one, yes, it can be hard when your body does not match the way you look. That's why, have you looked into any looks maxing wizards? Perhaps they can help you out.
I have. Unfortunately, their spells and their potions don't seem to work the way that they expect them to or say that they do.
Oh, yes. If they are not actual wizards, this would be a problem then, yes.
I think that they're just pretending to be wizards. How do you feel about that?
I mean, you gotta fake it till you make it, right? I mean, we all gotta start somewhere. Yeah, I suppose if they never learn any spells, though, that is a pretty big issue.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. No, these looks maxing fellows. Perhaps don't follow their advice. Perhaps just find what makes you happy and follow that direction.
You don't have any advice specific to this, I'm sure. I don't know if you would have anything to say that beats all of the other people out of the water when it comes to looks maxing or anything like that, right?
You're trying to make yourself appear more masculine, is it? Or how exactly are you trying to look?
I personally really like how the tall elves look, right? I don't know which realm those exist in for you.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit more of those feminine boys, right?
Ooh, feminine boys. Whoa.
Watch it, wizard. We have protections for the underage in our realm.
Well, yes, so you're trying to be a tall, sexy femboy, is it not? Is that the correct? Am I correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
And so your problem just is that you aren't tall?
I think I'm tall. I think I'm 6 foot.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's tall.
So you're trying to become sexier then?
I guess so. I think it's all on appearances, right? It's on how other people perceive you rather than anything else.
May I interject quickly?
Sure, absolutely.
I think the wizard might agree. In this realm, I think it's more important how you feel about you and how what you wear and what you do brings you joy.
Absolutely.
Because living in New York City, I've actually done it for a college experiment. I walked into a supermarket and wearing a trash bag, and you would be surprised how many people do not pay attention because they're so worried about how other people are perceiving them.
Well, to be fair, if I wanted to blend in New York, I might wear a trash bag.
That's true.
It's black. It works.
Well,
New York City, there are so many wonderful characters around, and there aren't even any orcs.
I think there is an orc in Harlem.
There could be, bro. There's got to be a couple.
There are some orcs underground in New York.
Yes.
The Tuttle orcs in New York.
on that, Great Wizard, my show nears an end, Great Wizard.
Yes,
have you any wisdom?
Any wisdom? Yes. Do not be mean to dragons unless you know you are able to kill them. It's just a bad idea.
I agree. Anything from the panelists before I disconnect everybody?
I do want to double down on what Will said in the chat. New Orc City should be the new name.
New York City, be careful there. Listen, you might want to keep your wallet on a chain.
Oh yes, that's mandatory here. Actually.
Anything from you, Kate?
I think I'm satisfied. Thank you very much, Oscar. Appreciate the time.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for hopping up, Great Wizard.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.
That was the Oskar Quentin Debate Live show. If you want to support the show, you can go to the link tree in my bio. It doesn't cost you a dime to follow me on the other platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube as well. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can hop over on TikTok and catch the show live from 10 to 12 Central Standard Time every fucking day, because this is my full-time job now, except for a couple days in June. I have a couple more shifts left at work. Gonna do those. But for the most part, doing the show every day. Doesn't cost you a dime to support in those ways. And if you have a dime you want to spare, you can send it to my Venmo, Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, or Patreon. How's my radio voice, everybody? Am I getting good at doing the ad read quickly? W in the chat for the mods. Seriously, guys, it's a big deal that I get to do this every day. I'm very, 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 very thankful for all the donors. And the mods for doing all the work, and for my dog Noodle, who I'm about to go for a run with. W in the chat for Noodle. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Where's my end button? There it is. Goodbye.